All right. Let's see how this is going to work. Oh, goodness. Yeah, I had a feeling this one wasn't going to fit on screen. There we go. Yeah. It's so funny because that's when I dropped it off, and I literally picked this up on Friday. But again, it's a big submission, so I understand. And don't worry, I'm getting rid of this playmat today, as you guys can see by the thumbnail, so I'm excited to see what you guys think of the new one. Look, we got some of these new codes with these really weird green borders, but remember when I used to have like thousands of codes and I would just give them out endlessly? Good times. Yeah, I'm gonna give out the rest of these two while we're at it. What the hell? I like how they had to note it's a digital pack. Like, you can't just take one of these and redeem a real pack. What's going on, Nugget? How we doing? Yeah, plus these are just so weird. I don't know why they changed to this design, but someone probably got promoted or got a raise by just making a slight change to these. But we'll get started in just a couple minutes. We'll talk about the two submissions. I'm going to replace the playmat. And yeah, we're going to get into the recaps. You do? Okay. Yeah, I mean, it is a nice... I guess it is a change, right? Because it's been this way for a long time. But I don't know. It just seemed like it came out of nowhere. You gotta stay innovative, right? In a market that they clearly control. All right. Super excited about this. This should be fun. All right. Yeah, I got drink here. We're good to go. All right, so let's just get into it. What's going on, everybody? WakoBako here. Yeah, I know, right? So today, obviously, we have the other two CGC submissions that I got back. Obviously, we have the big one, the submission number 50. That's the all Blastoise submission, which I'm super excited about. And then we also have submission number 52. This one is a mixed submission here, so this one should be pretty interesting. There's only 10 cards. I will probably start with this one just to kind of get this knocked out, see how it did. We'll talk about what's in here and why. And some of the stuff in here is actually a gift for a friend of mine, so I'm excited to see how that plays out. And then again, oh goodness, the big one, number 50. You can't even fit it on screen, but it's all right. You guys can see by the label there. Yep, it's always cool now to see this, right? Like, obviously it has my name on it, but now anytime I pick them up, I just go over to the security office and like, hey, here's your submission. And I just sign for it and I go about my business. So it's kind of cool, especially all the submissions I did before I was an employee and now I get this one. What do you mean? Oh, the big one. Yeah. Okay, I got you. The big one. Oh, man, if I knew how to edit, I would definitely plug that in. But no, that's hilarious. I like it. All right, so you guys have seen this playmat for a long time, obviously. For some reason, and I don't get a good old Toy Story. Yep, of course. I absolutely love this playmat. This came over from Full Metal Energy, so shout out to them. They've got all kinds of really awesome playmats. And I like this one because it looks like it has like a weird lighting effect and LED stuff. But for some reason, this corner here, it started to get bubbled up for some reason. So luckily, I had another one on standby. Another playmat, rather. Yeah, it was just one of those that inevitably I'd have to replace. I'm going to keep it, right? I can use this somewhere else. What's going on, dude? How we doing? Just talking about swapping out the playmat. I can put this somewhere else on my other desk, or, you know, just on another table I have. Maybe I'll put it under my desktop, just so it has a my humongous giant desktop. I can put a mat under it. But yeah, so I'll be replacing this one today. So let's get this out of the way. Obviously, my very nice Final Fantasy one's not going anywhere. All right. So here's the new one. Shipped from Full Metal Energy. I bought this so long ago. I couldn't even tell you how long I've been sitting on this, because it was one of those inevitable that I'm like, all right, I'm going to need a new playmat. So, all right. So let's check it out. Hopefully you guys will like it. I'm super excited. Again, I've been sitting on this for a long time. And there's just one of those inevitable that, you know, when the time came to replace it, I would be ready to go. So, I mean, I've had that other playmat for forever, so it's not like I didn't get my money's worth out of it. Definitely got a lot of time with it. So, now, maybe a little bit wrinkly at first, but obviously it'll flatten out over time. So just bear with me. All right. You guys are going to think I'm nuts, but here we go. Wow. This looks familiar, huh? There we go. Just got a second one because, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I absolutely love this design. It's the same exact size as the other one. So, yeah, so here we go. And just to prove that I didn't just put the same mat down. Here's the other one. And yes, I did buy 2 of these, right? Because again, it's an awesome mat. It's awesome, so might as well just replace with the same thing. All right, so a new playmat in effect. Absolutely love it. Let me make sure it still looks good on screen. Yep. All right. It looks like it's a little bit thinner, but again, I don't mind. It serves its purpose, and again, it's going to flatten itself out over time. All right, with that being said, let's start with submission 52. So Friday we did submission number 51, which I know that was a late stream, but if you guys didn't catch Friday's stream, please go back and check it out. Not only was it one of my best Final Fantasy submissions I've had so far, but looking at the pop report that CGC posts, almost every single card in that submission was a pop 1 for its grade, or just for its grade, and because it's the only one that my company's graded. So yeah, again, go check that out. Let me know what you think. But let's get into this one. So, and again, this is a mixed submission, and I say that because there's stuff in here that's actually a gift for a friend of mine. So a little bit of a spoiler, but I mean, they knew, right? Like, I was talking about this before, but this is a pretty quick turnaround. So this one, again, was dropped off, and they received it on 11/3, and I just picked this up on Friday. So again, this is an economy submission, so it's not bulk. These go a lot quicker. But without further ado, yeah, let's put it right there, just so it's off screen and I don't have to spoil too much. All right. And what I'm doing, by the way, as I do is I just keep sliding it back one by one, so I don't have to like spoil it for myself, but it keeps a little bit of secrecy. Again, I don't look at any of these submission lists ahead of time, especially when it comes to, you know, when I was doing customer submissions and they wanted to look at it, sure, I'd pull it up. But with the Final Fantasy one I did on Friday and the big one we're doing today, I have no idea. I didn't have any idea how the grades are going to turn out. What's going on? How we doing? Good old Hawaiian 5-0. Love it. Nice to see you. Hopefully you're doing well. we're just getting into the submission, so let's see how we're going to start this one. Oh, okay, and we're starting off strong. You guys know that I don't have like this crazy explosive or like fake personality, but trust me, when I'm excited, you guys will know it. But I can't even hide this one. Let's just get right into it. Look at this. What an awesome start. Starting off huge with a CGC Pristine 10. So this is from the 151 set, but this is the Chinese variant. Obviously, the set number is different, but if you look at that very bottom left corner, if the camera's going to work with me, you see there is a little Pokemon stamp down there on the border. This is something that they do exclusively with the simplified Chinese Pokemon TCG cards, especially on the higher end. It's just that one thing that makes them a little more exclusive and a little more recognizable with their own. Good, yeah, all's well here. Yeah, we had a great week of work. We went through some awesome submissions on Friday. Hung out pretty much all day yesterday, and now we're doing another batch of submissions. So yeah, no complaints here. But yeah, so off to a strong start. The Chinese Venusaur EX. It's so funny because, you know, obviously I'm not the biggest Venusaur fan, but I've graded a lot of Venusaur cards as of late. But again, I think I've had some pretty good eyes on some of these, and I'm interested to see how the rest goes. All right, on to the next. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. This is going to be absolutely insane. I'm trying to find a way to do this where, all right, there we go. I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to turn it sideways for myself because I had it the other way, and obviously I can see this. So I'm going to turn it sideways for myself so I don't spoil anything that way either. There we go. Okay. I'm going to have to do that with the big one as well. So here we go. Let's take this out. Ooh. Okay. So we're off to a really good start on this submission. 2 Pristines back to back. And if you're not familiar with CGC's graded cards, you can tell this is Pristine because this back has that goldish brownish hue. That means that this is their Pristine label. It's kind of like with Beckett. If you look at their Pristines to their black labels, you can see it from the back of it as well. So let's flip it over and see which one it is. So real quick, I'm going to derail myself. I do have some more of these sleeves, but I had to order more because I definitely don't have enough for everything today. So I'm going to try and just sleeve up at least this order. We'll see how many we have left. But I ordered 500 more. I know it seems outlandish, but they come in packs of 50, so it's not too crazy. But yeah, so I ordered from that company. They should be coming in, so super excited about that, especially because, again, the Blastoise submission, I'm not going to have enough sleeves for. I may not even have enough sleeves for this submission, so... but draw this out a little bit. We'll go through and clean these off, and again, it's not like these cards are absolutely disgusting when they come back, but you do get factory dust and just some little debris on there, so I'd like to clean them off before they go into these sleeves, which again, great company, shout them out. As I was placing my order, I was talking about how I shout them out in my videos. Absolutely amazing. They do all kinds of sleeves for regular packs, the sleeve blisters, anything that you could think of that would need a sleeve, even like the one mags. Yeah, they pretty much developed sleeves for everything. So, and again, real quick example of how this works. Goes in here like that, at least the way that I do it. Peel the sticker, and then this just flips right over. And there you go. Come on. Oh, this is one of the ones. So this was an issue I had with some of these, right? There's no adhesive on that, so it's all right. I'm not going to waste it. I know there's a weird batch where I got some that didn't have the adhesive, but still works here because you can kind of just tuck that in like that. And there we go. Still serves the same purpose, but there we go. Move these off to the side. But again, hopefully not all of them are that way, but again, I do have more on order. So without further ado, let's clean off the back of this one before we flip it over, and let's see what we got in 3, 2, 1. Oh, nice. Okay. So, brand new, right? So the Mega Evolutions English set just recently came out. Well, obviously the brand new set, the Phantasmal Flame, I think it's called, which, again, I'm not keeping up with any of these, but this is actually one of the cards that came over from New Kid when we were opening up packs. And I wanted to throw it into this submission, and I'm glad we did because we got a Pristine on it. So super excited about that. Yeah, definitely a beautiful card. And again, I'm not the biggest fan of all the megas, right? I just think it's excessive, especially with them bringing back something that's a bit older. But yeah, obviously I'm not going to complain about a pristine. So let's sleeve this one up and let's keep rolling. Let's see if we have the same issue with this one, which, yep, we do. So again, for some reason, a lot of the adhesive sticks to this little tape instead of staying on here, which again, it's fine. It's not a big deal. It happens. It's not anything to get mad about. But do the same thing with this one, just kind of fold it into itself. There we go. And again, they're going to be living in these boxes anyway until I get another display for it. But yeah, off to a strong start with 2 pristine Venusaurs. All right, let's see what's next. Oh my God. Okay. All right, so this is going to be an exciting stream for sure. Off to a very, very strong start. Go ahead and clean this off here. Kind of clean off the front without flipping it over. Yeah, it's always nice to see these submissions. And the crazy thing is, right, we went from simplified Chinese, which their card qualities seems to be a lot better than English as of late. But seems like these English cards are doing pretty good as well. So let's see what we got on this one. We're going to flip this over in 3, 2, 1. Ooh, nice. Okay. Good old Bulbasaur. This is the art rare or the illustrator rare or illustration rare. I'm just so used to open up Japanese packs and calling them art rares. That's why I always say that. But this is from the Mega Evolution set. As you guys know, this was one of the more popular art rares. And then I think if you bought a booster box, you can get one of the enhanced booster boxes that comes with this card. It's got the stamp on the bottom. But yeah, absolutely amazing. What's going on, Wabbit? How we doing? It's still so funny that it shows your name is Crocodile, but it's all good. But yeah, another absolutely amazing card here. And again, I like the color on this one, right? It's a lot of bright and vibrant colors. And obviously, Bulbasaur is in the center, nice and featured. So there we go. Yeah, for some reason, yeah, Nugget, yeah, for some reason, like, at least from what I can see on mine, if you look at chat, it says Crocodile 1414. It's Wabbit, but for some reason the name change on there, whether they did it or not. But yeah, there you go. And I can tell because of their profile picture. All right. Off to a strong start. Let's see if we can keep this running. All right, so here we go. Flip this over. So the pristine streak has broken, but it's all right because there's still potential for this to be a very high grade. We have the Ivysaur now, so again, fits with the art rare or illustration rare set. Again, another absolutely beautiful card, a lot of bright, vibrant colors, and then Ivysaur featured in the middle. And this is the card immediately after, so 133 to 1-34. Let's take a look and see how we did on this one in 3, 2, 1. Okay, nice. All right, so if you don't get the pristine, obviously this is what you want to see here with that Gem Mint 10. Just kind of quickly looking at this because I don't want to spend too much time on it. Ooh, that's a tough one, especially, and again, I can't disclose, right, like our process and our logic on how we grade cards because I work for CGC. I'm not trying to disclose any information, and I'm just an employee. In this current status as of right now, I'm a customer just showing off some stuff. But yeah, man, that's tough. I'm gonna have to look at this a little bit more after the stream, but okay, so I kind of see why. So this bottom left corner, that might be the reason why it's not a pristine and it's a gem mint. But again, I'll take a look afterwards, and I can also look at the high res scans on the submission order. But we'll take a look, and again, I mean, it's nothing to complain about. It's still a gem mint, but yeah, we'll take a look and see. Let's see what we got on this one. Yep, so again, this whole batch, for some reason, the adhesive is sticking to the little peeler, but it's all right. You might dabble just a little bit. All right, so there we go. Still some absolutely beautiful cards. Let's keep rolling. Card number 5. Let's see what we got on this one. Okay. I'm just gonna. It looks like we had one little hiccup, and then we're right back to it. Okay. So this is actually insane. If this is the card that it should be, right? Just looking at the trend and the way this submission went. If this is the card I'm thinking of, this is very, very insane because this card, ungraded or raw, is very, very expensive. So let's take a look and see if it's the card I'm thinking of in this absolutely beautiful, pristine 10 in 3, 2, 1. Oh, and it is. Look at that. Absolutely amazing. So this is the Mega Venusaur EX, right? So obviously the upgrade from the previous. But this is the special illustration rare. Wow. Yeah, that's really, really awesome. An absolutely beautiful card. And again, this card, not graded, is really, really expensive. So to see this in that pristine, yeah, that's absolutely insane. What a beautiful card. And again, I don't know any of the values of these ahead of time because, again, I don't know the grades ahead of time. So I'll do some research after the stream and seeing what we're looking at in total value. But yeah, that's a good one. Again, it would have been sick to have all 3 of the evolution line in that pristine. But it seems like that's my luck, right? If you guys have seen my previous submissions, right, most of the time when I do these, you know, one of the 3 in the evolution line does not get the pristine, right? I think it happened to me with these previously when I did the set from 151. I think I had Bulbasaur and Ivysaur in the pristine, and then Venusaur was the gem. But still, can't complain about that. An absolutely beautiful trio. And again, we're still on an amazing streak here. Let me move this back a little bit. I'm gonna slide this up so we can lay the next 5 down. All right, so on to the next. Let's see how we do on this one. Oh my god, gee. All right, it's gonna keep going. We're keeping the streak alive here, guys. If you guys thought and again, very few people show up on Friday, but I get it. It's Final Fantasy, not too many people are into it, but also it was a very late stream. I think I started at like 9 or 9:30, which is insane, but it is what it is, you know. But yeah, if you guys thought that submission was great, which it was, and again, I'm a huge fan of Final Fantasy for sure. But we're off to a huge start on this one. And again, we still have the 50 card submission, the big one, to go through. But yeah, off to an amazing start. Man, that's why I love grading cards. It's just so satisfying. Not only being a customer, yeah, that makes sense, Wabbit. I understand. But not only being a customer, but also being an employee and grading cards, right? Like, for me, even as a card grader, yes, I am a professional card grader. It's so satisfying, whether it's a really, really cheap card or something crazy high-end and rare, when you look over it and you evaluate it, and sometimes I'll even get second or third look when it's like, hey, can we make this a pristine? And it's such an exciting thing to be like, yeah, let's go with pristine on that one. Because knowing that like a customer is going to do the same thing I'm doing and unbox this and hopefully be excited with the grades that they get. And I still get giddy as a customer, right? And again, I don't get to grade my own stuff, obviously. No, I don't. As I'm saying that, I knew someone was going to ask. No, I don't get to grade my own. And if it's ever the situation where my own order ends up on my desk, not only is it company policy, but it's like an integrity thing where I have to pass it off to somebody else. Yeah, it's just exciting to not only get, good grades on my own or on my end, but okay, in the middle of me talking, I forgot I didn't show what this was. Wow. Okay, so that's insane. We get the Hilda. This is the SAR. This is from the White Flare and Black Bolt sets. You guys remember when I opened these up with my buddy Alex over at /frag. We pulled the God Pack, and this was the big hit from the God Pack. Yeah, absolutely beautiful card. And again, you get all the Pokemon in the backdrop as well. You see, this is what happens when I go on rants. I just forget where my brain's at, and then I forget that I'm holding a card that I didn't reveal yet. But yeah, there we go. Absolutely beautiful. And I don't really have too many full art trainers in my own collection. But yeah, I think this is going to be one I'm going to hold on to. I'm excited to see the value on this one as well. But yeah, absolutely beautiful card. And again, we're just absolutely killing it with this submission. All right. But again, like I said, it's always fun, especially now. I've been with CGC since July. It's just so awesome being a customer and an employee and knowing that, you know, someone out there is getting the cards that I graded, and you know, I graded their submission. And, you know, I wish I could put notes in there and put feedback like, hey, man, congratulations, or hey, this is awesome, or hey, I had fun doing this. We just don't have the process for that or the time. But again, you guys can see how excited I still get even looking at my own submission. So, all right, on to the next. Let's see what we got here. Oh, my God. Jesus. Okay, it's going to be one of those days. This is nuts. All right, let me clean this off. I don't remember which this one is in the submission. So I had an idea up to this point here. Well, it's funny. So I didn't remember these two cards. Yep, another one. Absolutely insane. But yeah, I kind of forgot which these two cards were. I do know the last three, especially because the last three cards that we're about to get into are drastically different than anything that I've done before. But again, they're all gifts for a friend of mine, so that's why it's a bit different. Yeah, all right, let's see what we got here. Let's flip this over and see what we got in 3, 2, 1. Oh, there it is. Nice. There we go. Sylveon V from Brilliant Stars Trainer Gallery. You know what the crazy thing about this card is? This has been sitting in my duplicates binder for years. Literal years. Like, I pulled this card multiple times. I put the duplicate in the duplicate binder like you would. And it just sat there. And I never thought that I'd end up grading it, but I kind of did this as filler, and I was like, hey, you know, this card looks like it's in really good shape. I might as well give it a shot and see how it plays out, and I'm glad it did, because a lot of the Trainer Gallery cards, especially with the Evolutions, are definitely going up in value, so super excited to see that. But again, another absolutely beautiful card, and another pristine. Absolutely insane. All right. Let's go into the last three. Now, I'm going to take all these out at the same time. Actually, no, I don't want to do that, because I forgot these are like the Final Fantasy cards where there's actual like backs to these. So, all right. These three here, and again, these are very, very different than what I've submitted before. If you guys remember the submission preview, I showed off and talked about how I got these from a friend of mine, which inevitably I turned back into a gift going back to them. So I'm super excited to see how these turn out, but let's just go one at a time, and I'll kind of explain what they are here in a second. I'm going to do this kind of sideways because, again, there's artwork on both sides, but let's flip it over and let's just look at the grade right away, and then we'll do a full breakdown. Yeah, absolutely. And again, because like I only had so much knowledge that I built on my own, right? And just doing all those submissions time after time after time. And then you get to fine tune those details when, you know, becoming an employee and actually obtaining that skill set. So yeah, I definitely feel like my knowledge and stuff that I look out for has become better. But again, as you can see, right, like still got a good eye for this. And again, there's still other cards where, especially for, you know, a lot of older vintage cards, and you're going to see, you know, with all my other submissions that I've done previously, I just realized that this mount almost fell off the table. You know, if you look at some of my older Blastoise and Raichu and Dragonite submissions, you know, I was submitting that stuff because I just wanted to protect it. I don't really care about the grade. But even when I was going through and prepping the Blastoise submission, which we're going to see here very shortly, I took a little bit more time looking over it because, again, accessing that part of my brain and the skill set and the logic behind it, like, obviously I can't disclose what that is, but I can work through it on my own head and have a rough idea of where things are going to land. So to answer your question, after a long drawn out explanation, yes, I do feel like my skills have been enhanced, and it's definitely it's showing for sure. All right, so let's get into this. Let's flip it over. Ooh, okay, nice, very, very nice. So this is a 2024 Hololive card. Now they did a collaboration with the Dodgers, which is a it's obviously an American baseball team, but this is a very, very exclusive promo that they only did at the game. So yeah, again, it's one of those cards that like you got a 3-pack of these at the Dodgers game, and that was the only way you can get these. So yeah, 9.5, gladly take that. And again, it's a gift from my buddy, so I don't think he's going to complain about it. But again, this is crossover with, I want to say they're VTubers. I don't know the origins of the actual character. It's either from Hololive or Hololive. But again, it's a collab I never thought I would see, especially with Major League Baseball and like anime style or like VTubers. But hey, there's an audience for everything, right? So there we go. So not bad though. Got the 9.5 on that one. Go ahead and sleeve that up. Got 2 more to show off. And then we're going to get into the big one. I can't wait. Like, this is exciting. Trust me. I'm super excited about this. But, yeah. Just being able to... And again, like, the Blastoise submission was supposed to be a birthday gift to myself. It just didn't come in time, which, again, you know, no one to blame there, right? Like, in terms of employee submissions, we're nowhere near a priority, which completely is understandable. I'm not going to complain about it. But yeah, in terms of, you know, when our stuff gets done, whether it's economy or bulk, you know, depending on the tier, obviously, right? Like if I did a walkthrough submission, I would hope to get it done pretty quick. But yeah, again, I can't complain. This one was a very quick turnaround, so I'm happy to see this. But again, the Blastoise submission was supposed to be a birthday gift to myself, but I'm just glad it's finally here. And excited to see. Oh, and with that being said, I do have my other box of all my other Blastoise graded cards. So we're going to go through and look at all that as well. And I'm going to sort through everything and put it in the chronological order. So stick around for that after we show everything off. I think you guys will enjoy that. It'll be a little bit of a collection recap, if you will. All right, let's go to the next one. See how we did on this one in 3, 2, 1. Ooh, nice. Okay. We got the gem mint on that, the Blastoiseception. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, it's a Blastoise inside of a Blastoise with other Blastoise. It's a whole lot of Blastoise talk. Let me just clean this off real quick. So it's another one of those, the Dodgers and the Hololive collabs. And again, I don't know anything about these characters and where they come from. But again, I know that this is something that a buddy of mine got, sitting on these for a little bit. And then... you know, pass them over to me, and I was like, hey, you know what? I'm going to kind of, I don't see it as like a re-gift, if that makes any kind of sense, right? It's just something that I know he's a lot bigger fan of than I am. But I'm glad I had the opportunity to get these graded, and then, you know, going to prep all these and get them all nice for him, and then, you know, kind of gift it back. So, yeah, so there we go. VTuber. Yep, there we go. So I was on the right track. But again, very interesting collab for sure. But a Gem Mint 10. I think when we looked at these cards beforehand, when I was talking to my buddy about this, we were just looking at like the raw prices for these. And these cards are pretty expensive because, again, like it's an exclusive thing. If you didn't go to that Dodgers game, you have to buy them secondhand. And then, you know, even past that, a lot of people open these, right? So like to get a sealed little pack of these. Gotcha, yeah. Which again makes sense for sure. I don't think they would just put like some no-name VTubers on here. But yeah, if you didn't get this at the game, right, as that sealed product, you had to buy them secondhand and then hope for, you know, to get a sealed one. Okay, gotcha. Okay. Nice. Thanks for the info. Appreciate you. But yeah, let's just get to this last one and see how we did on this one in 3, 2, 1. Oh, nice. Okay. So we got another Gem Mint 10. Okay, gotcha. Again, very interesting collab. But again, these cards are very, very exclusive because of that reason, right? It's not something that they do all the time. And if they do, right, I'm assuming it's just different characters anytime they've done this previously or in the future. So, yeah, not bad. I mean, overall, this submission was absolutely insane, right? Like, all the pristines, I mean, again, everything was pretty high end, right? Even the 9.5, like, and it was funny because I was joking with, ooh, this one might have a little bit of adhesive on it. I was joking with a friend of mine that went to they went to like Target and Walmart and Best Buy when the brand new Pokemon set released on Friday, which again, it's kind of funny because the Final Fantasy set dropped on Friday also, but no one knows about that. And they were talking about how people were complaining about like, oh, if I get a 9.5, that's terrible, which is absolutely insane to me. That's pretty cool. I like that. Are there any other baseball teams that do that, or is it just the collaboration with the Dodgers? I mean, I think that'd be kind of interesting, even more so, right? Like if other teams bought into this. But there we go. Pretty solid submission. Again, this submission number 52. Again, no complaints here. Absolutely insane hits. Started off super strong. Again, just the Dodgers. Gotcha. It would have been sick if we got the pristine on this one, but again, no complaints here. So again, another absolutely amazing submission. We put these back in the box, and now we get to the part that I've been waiting for a long time. You guys saw how many times I've shown off my Blastoise cards and talked about doing a submission. Absolutely a great submission. But yeah, I talked about it so much, and I showed off so many Blastoise cards over the years, right? And just kept building and building. And again, I did a submission previously, but that was years ago. And I just kept rebuilding since then. So same thing like when I do my next Raichu submission or my next Dragonite submission is going to be just as exciting because it's been so long since I did the initial. That's awesome. I like that. They got some good luck charm there. That's hilarious. I like that. All right, put this back over here. All right, so again, been waiting for this one for a long time, but here we go. Can't even fit on this screen. It's literally the big one. 50 card submission. Now, in terms of like size, and again, I know I'm just showing a big cardboard box. In terms of overall submissions, this is the third biggest one I ever did. The biggest one I ever did was 75 cards, and then I did a 60 card submission, and then this ties for third because I did a 50 card submission previously. So, but that's back when I had the eBay store running, and all that stuff literally went to the eBay store. I was selling it at card shows, or hell, I even set up when we did a garage sale. I set up outside the house. If you guys remember that Instagram post, that was absolutely hilarious. All right, so here we go. Ooh. Okay. I'm just going to show this off real quick. So everything's in here. It's nice and secure. This is the only thing that kind of troubles me a little bit. Because it's in here. All right. Hold on. Let me fix the play mat because we'll get to this in a second. Hold on. That's what that means is one of the cards wasn't graded, and it's something I've actually done as a grader, but I want to see why. So let me fix this, make the adjustments there. All right. You guys can see this. We're looking good, and we're still kind of squared away on screen here. We're looking all right. All right. So let me bring this on without sliding the play mat. I'm going to knock the camera here, inevitably. All right, so let's get into this. We're going to start with this right off the bat. And again, this is towards the back of the submission, but I just want to look at it now because otherwise this is going to drive me nuts for the whole rest of the time. Well, let's take a look. So this is the proper way to turn these back. There is a form that we fill out, which looks exactly like this. I guess the only thing that's a bit annoying is that all it says is service unavailable. Now, yes, there's options where you can plug in info, or if there's like a weird defect or something that we wouldn't grade for X, Y reason, you would check these off and you'd fill this in. I have a stack of these on my desk. It's like a big sticky notepad. But yeah, there's a lot of different reasons why we wouldn't grade something. This one just says service unavailable, which, again, it doesn't really help, right? Because I don't know why. And even looking at... So on the paperwork, and I can't show you the paperwork because it has all my personal information on it. But that's card number 49. And all it says is ineligible type, which is weird because it was in the database when I submitted it. So that's really, really weird. Like, it was in the database when I submitted it. I'm stuttering now. When I submitted it. But let's take a look and flip over which one it was. Really? So that's... All right, let me flip it. Hey, at least they gave me my sleeve back. So this was for this card here. This was that really cool Blastoise sticker. Came from Japan. Says ineligible type. But I remember... Man, that's really weird. And again, I'm not going to complain, right? Like, obviously, you know, someone has, you know, knowledge that I don't. It's cool that I have this, though, so I can hold on to that, and at least they printed this, so I know that there's no point trying to regrade this or do anything with it. So at least I have a label for it. But it's all good. And again, I guess I wish I knew why it's an eligible type. Because, again, I was able to pull this card in the database when I was doing my submission, like any customer would be able to do. But you know what? It's all right. Still have a pretty cool card. I'm glad I got it back at least, right? At least that happened. It wasn't like it just got lost somewhere. I'm going to put it the other way. And let me just spin this over real quick. And I'm going to take this little tag off the back. I'm going to set this up front. So there we go. Man, that's unfortunate. But again, it's not like it was a crazy expensive card. I mean, I guess it is a bit rare because it's a very, very old sticker. But, I mean, we grade stickers and stuff all the time. So, for example, and I'm not going to go on this rant, but this is a sticker, right? B-side label. This comes from Japan. We grade these all the time. So, I don't know. Maybe it's just that specific one. Maybe there wasn't enough research to verify that it was what it was. I'm not going to go in this rant any further, but let me just put this back in here. I'm going to put it in this slot here just so I kind of keep things in that order. But yeah, that's a bit unfortunate. But there's the camera bump there. And I'll leave it up front. That's all right. Okay, so here we go. So outside of that, now we have 49 cards to show off and see how we did. Damn, that's... It's all right. So I'm going to slide this off. I'm going to keep it this way, right, so I don't spoil it for myself. No. Trust me. And I know you are. I appreciate it. But I'm not trying to cause conflicts with my employer. It's really not worth it. So, all right. And again, so just to show you. Oh, yeah, I got the other super heavy box here. So here's the other Blastoise box, which I know that was a terrible angle. I can't really show it. There we go. So here's the other Blastoise box. We're going to go through. And again, we're going to reorganize everything and sort it. I don't have all the sleeves, so I'm not really going to sleeve them up today. I'm just going to sleeve up what I can. Okay. Quick little drink here. I'm super excited about this. I'm not going to let that one little hiccup kind of derail this, but here we go. Let's see if I can move this up a little bit. The box going to be on screen just a little bit. Hopefully you guys are okay with that. Oh, it's not a big deal. Just because the lid just keeps closing down on itself. All right. I think how I can do this real quick. Can I bend this back the other way? Okay, that'll work, kind of. Nope, that definitely didn't work. It's all right. Let's move this other way. All right, let's get to it. Starting off. So, no pristine, which, and again, keep in mind, guys, with this submission, right, as excited as I am, right, you have to remember there's a good mix of ultra modern or very, very new stuff, and then there's stuff that's almost 30 years old in this submission. So, just like I've done with my other Blastoise and Raichu and Dragonite submissions, I'm content with whatever we get, right? Obviously, I'm hoping for some big hits, but let's see what we got here starting off. 3, 2, 1. Oh, okay, nice. Nice. Very, very solid start here. We get the Radiant Blastoise. This is a simplified Chinese exclusive. I've graded this card a couple other times. I don't remember what the other grades are. I know I have it in the other box. I know, not almost 30. I know. I shouldn't have said it, but it's kind of crazy, right? Yeah, I have cards in this box that are from 1996. Again, I have graded this card before. And again, just a reminder, right, with simplified Chinese and even traditional Chinese Pokemon cards, they do share the English backs. It would have been cool to have them do their own, especially because Japan and the way that they make cards, they're the only ones that have a different backing to them. Even if you look at like Korean or hurt your feelings, you're fine, you're all right. But yeah, even if you look at like the Korean cards or any of the other languages, they're all with the English backs. It's just funny that the Japanese cards are the only ones that have different backings. And they're also the only ones that have ever changed their backings, right? If you look at vintage Japanese, which we do have in this submission, you know, they went from a completely different design and then changed it at some point. All right, this one has, nice, this one has a seal on it, so we're good here. But there we go. So we're going to lay as many as we can on the desk, and then we'll kind of, how do I want to do this? Because I'm trying to think of keeping them organized. Let's do this. I'm going to put them back in the box after every preview, and then we'll lay everything out at the end, right? Especially because I have to pull out all the other ones anyway, so let's just do it that way. All right, so on to the next. All right, so that's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it like this, right? Just so I don't have to worry about like trying to hold my finger over the grade or anything like that. So just bear with me, guys. I do appreciate you. All right, so let's see what we got on this one. Again, this is a full Blastoise submission, nothing but the big man himself. Super excited to see how these turn out. But let's see what we got on this one in 3. Ooh, okay. You can already see a little white dot on that bottom corner. But anyway, sorry, I'm getting distracted. Let's see what we got. 3, 2, 1. Ooh, okay, nice. All right, nice. So we still got the Mint 9. If I was looking at this, right, so I think centering looks good, right? When I initially looked over this before submission, I didn't see any scratches or anything. But yeah, there is that corner. It's a white dot in the corner there. That's probably enough to bring it down there. So that's completely understandable. And again, some of these I have graded previously. So once we break out all the other ones, right, we'll see which ones I have and see if I got any upgrades or maybe even some downgrades to some of the other ones. Or not really downgrade, but you know what I mean, like didn't score as high as previously. But still, I really like this artwork here. There's a lot of, you know, every time they do, and it happens with Charizard also, they do a lot of different angles for these Pokemon. Try and keep it interesting, keep it exciting. Sometimes, just like us humans, right, like some of these have some really weird angles. And then some of them, like this one, just look absolutely amazing. So, all right, there we go. Good old, and this is from Stellar Crown, by the way. I should probably explain where these come from, even though the label says it. 2024, Stellar Crown, absolutely beautiful. This was the set that also had the Squirtle art rare and the Bulbasaur art rare. All right, next. Again, all Blastoise, right? I don't really have to hype this up too much because we know, well, I mean, we know who the character is. We don't know the card. All right. See, this is why I wipe stuff off, right? You get all this little surface dust and gunk on here, which, again, it happens, right? You're in a production facility, bound to get that stuff on here, but at least it's not inside. You know, like, if you saw that stuff inside this, that would be a little more irritating, but at least I can take the second to kind of wipe these clean. All right, let's see what we got. Card number 3, 3, 2, 1. Ooh, okay. So, it's so funny because, you know, I've submitted so many of these now in English and Japanese and Korean. The Japanese ones had always seemed to have done better. This one got an 8. So just kind of looking on a heads up, there is a little bit of wear on that top border on the front. And it stands out more, especially because it has the dark gray border on these ones. And it's fully textured, so you're going to see that a lot more. Looking at the back, it's kind of tough, again, especially because the border blends into itself, right? It's not a hard-cut border like the English ones, but yeah, if I was to look at this just from, again, initial look, I'm going to look at this a little bit more. And again, that's the luxury of not only having knowledge on how to do this, but I can look at the high-res images that they upload with every submission, so I get a better idea of what I'm looking at. But And again, I'm not going to complain. I've got this in 2 pristines now, a gem mint, and I think the Korean one was like a 6 or a 6.5. So again, I'm not going to complain. It's still an absolutely beautiful card. But yeah, good old Blastoise SAR from 151. I think I still have a... what's going on, Jay? How we doing? I don't know. So this might actually kind of like clean slate all my Blastoise cards because, again, majority of them that I was sitting on, I put in this submission. So that means any other Blastoise cards coming forward or, you know, picking up any of the ones that I'm still missing. Obviously, we'll add that into the next one. There's always more cards to get, right? I don't have every single one. Oh, I don't have every single one, but that's kind of the point of me doing this, right? I want to see if I can actually catch them all. Haha, had to plug that in. All right. So, excited to see this, right? Because not only is it pristine, but it's a Blastoise card, so that's just even better, right? This is, and again, this is why I wanted to do this on my birthday, which if the submission would have come in on time, that would have been awesome. So I get a little bit of a late birthday gift to myself, but what a treat all of this is, right? Just seeing all these cards that are going to go into the collection. All right, so let's see which pristine we got here. Again, it's a Blastoise, but I just don't remember which one. But let's see which one it is in 3, 2, 1. Ooh, nice. Okay, 151. So this is the secret rare, which is awesome because now I have the SAR and the secret rare in a pristine in the Japanese variant. I think I've submitted the English and Chinese variants before multiple times. I don't think I've ever gotten a pristine 10 on this one, but again, absolutely beautiful card. Absolutely love the artwork there. Card number 186 of 165 from probably one of the best modern sets that's come out, at least in the Scarlet and Violet generation. Obviously, this is one of the best sets. But keep in mind, 2026 is the 30th anniversary for Pokemon, so we will get a Celebrations-esque kind of set, if you guys remember that, from which is insane that came out 5 years ago now. God, that's so nuts to think about it that way. But yeah, 30th anniversary Pokemon set or collection is going to be coming out in 2026, so I'm kind of excited to see. Oh my goodness, I'm excited to see how they're going to do that, right? Because we had Generations before, that was the 20th anniversary set. Then we had Celebrations as the 25th. My only ask, right? And again, I know they've already put everything into production, so just don't do the weird like Pikachu logo with the numbers on its face. Like, come up with something a little more intricate than that, a little more involved. I don't think it's a big ask, but anyway. Another pristine. This is what, card number 5 out of 50. We're already seeing some pristines, which I absolutely love to see. Now, keep in mind, if you guys have been looking at the labels on these are going from like the latest and greatest stuff, and it's getting a bit older, which I did that on purpose to save some of the really old and rarer cards towards the end of the submission. But let's see what we got here. Another pristine. Super excited to add it to the personal collection, guys. And if you stick around long enough, you guys are going to see all the Blastoise. I'm going to take the ones I have on my desk, up on my other stand. We're going to break out all the Blastoise today. So we're going to take a look and see how many I have, right? So with this submission now, I want to say I can like roughly confirm this is over 100 graded Blastoise cards in my submission now, which is insane. Especially even with this one, right? This only being a 49 card submission instead of 50. Yeah, I think that puts me over 100 total cards. We'll do full count inventory here in a minute. Well, in a few minutes, maybe tens of minutes. But anyway, let's see what Blastoise we got here in 3, 2, 1. Ooh, nice. Okay, so followed up with the 151 regular EX here, so that's awesome. So now I have a pristine for all the Blastoise for the 151 set, which is absolutely sick. Yeah, that's exciting. Absolutely beautiful card there. Again, I love the updated pristine label, even though I do love me some OG blue label pristine or blue labels from CGC. Yeah, love seeing these ones, especially with any kind of card that has any kind of black or gold accent in it. But let's keep rolling. Again, I'm running out of sleeves already. But it's okay. I got more on the way. So So there we go. Another absolutely beautiful card. Again, Blastoise EX from 151. So now I have all of the Blastoise cards from 151 in that pristine. Okay, on to the next. So no pristine, unfortunately, but let's take a look and see. It is another Japanese Blastoise. Let's see which one it is in 3, 2, 1. Ooh, okay, nice. All right, I'll take that. We still got the Gem Mint on this one, which is absolutely beautiful. So this card is really, really awesome because this is from the Japanese, the classic collections, right? So TCG Classic, right? You guys remember that giant box that they put out? Was that black and silver trimmed box that had the 3 different decks in it, the Blastoise, Charizard, and Venusaur deck. Yeah, so this is the Blastoise from that. Now, if I look over at my desk, which, hey, conveniently enough, you're going to see this artwork a lot more today. I have a few more of these scattered throughout different eras, but again, it's a classic for a reason. Absolutely beautiful in that Gem Mint 10. So let me look at my desk real quick. Ooh, okay, nice. So that's awesome. So I don't think I've graded this one before. And I say it because I've definitely graded other variants of it, but not this one specifically. So I do have another, I do have this deck. I think I have 2 copies of this deck actually. But yeah, another absolutely beautiful card in that Gem Mint 10. Honestly, just looking at it quickly, again, I'm not going to, super evaluate this stuff. Unless it's like an absolutely terrible grade, then we'll take a few minutes. But just initial look, it's probably centering, right? And if you look from bottom board to the top, it's shifted just ever so slightly. But again, when you're talking about Gem Mint or Pristine, it is just ever so slightly of a difference to push it off. But again, no complaints. It's an absolutely beautiful card. I like the gold flake on this. Which again would have been sick if this would have been pristine, because then it would have matched, but just means I'll have to submit another one and try again. But again, not going to complain about getting a Gem Mint 10, especially for the personal collection. Absolutely gorgeous card. Man, I'm super excited, and even more excited not only to see everything we got here, but to show you guys the entire collection at the end, which again, if you're popping in and out or you want to hang out for the whole time, it's going to be well worth it, trust me. All right, another Blastoise. Let's see which one it is. This is a English card, potentially English. Could be Chinese, could be Korean, could be Thai, right? Because they all share the same backs. As I spit all over the card, my goodness. But let's see which one it is in 3. All right, hold on. I'm going to just stop myself here. Do you guys care for the countdown, or do you want me to just kind of talk about it and then flip it over? I don't know if that's getting annoying or not. Someone just give me a little bit of feedback if you don't mind the countdown, if you don't care. If you want me to just, kind of roll through them, you let me know. All right, here we go. I'll flip this one over. Let's see what we got. Ooh, nice. Okay, another absolutely beautiful card. So, all right, Saya, good. Appreciate you. I just wanted to make sure. I'm just trying not to be annoying. So, this card is absolutely beautiful for a multitude of reasons. Obviously, we got the Gem Mint 10, so that's super, super exciting. The other reason why this is beautiful is this is a hyper rare, which is exclusive to the simplified Chinese set. Remember this set that was specifically featured with Blastoise? Well, that's where this card came from. Now, the cool thing is, and again, there's actually 2 variants of this hyper rare, but this card in this exact style, yes, the artwork we've seen before, right? We've seen in English and Japanese. But in the hyper rare form is Chinese exclusive, which is awesome, especially getting the 10. But the other cool thing here is you can see here where it says hyper rare and then it says 5-card pack. Now, if you guys remember, the Chinese simplified Chinese TCG were the first ones to do jumbo packs, right? They did the 5-card and the 25-card. So there is another variant to this, which I have to look and see if I have the other variant. I'm pretty sure I do. It may have already been submitted. I feel like I submitted this card before. But anyway, this is the 5-card variant. The difference between the 5 and the 25-card variant. The 25-card variant, as simple as this is going to sound, literally just has more hollow foil on it. Like this one has a good amount, right? Especially because it's a hyper rare, right? There's all kinds of glitter and speckles all over it. The 25-card one looks like they threw like 10 more layers of it on top. So, but yeah, absolutely beautiful. Again, I'm going to look at everything way after the fact, after the stream. I'll look at all the images and the high-res scans to see what pushed us off from the pristine. But again, I'm not going to complain about that. Like, and any of the grades, right? Like, This is all for the personal collection. It's all for me. It's all cards I've been sitting on, some fairly recent and some for years. So no complaints from this guy, especially, I mean, unless, you know, there's a card that I think, not, you know, I'm not even going to get into that. No complaints. It's a fun stream. I'm not going to complain. Let's go to the next one. Let's see what we got here. All right. Let's see what we got on this one. Again, could be English, could be another one of the other languages. But let's take a look and see what we got here. Ooh, okay, nice. All right, nice. So let me break this one back out. So both of these came from the same set. And again, another Chinese exclusive artwork. This artwork was never done in English or Japanese. So again, that's the other cool thing about getting some of these cards. And if anyone out there is sleeping on the simplified Chinese or even the traditional Chinese Pokemon market, you're insane. Like, and I mean that in a very positive way, because you can get some absolutely beautiful cards for way cheaper than what they would be if they ever had an English variant or a Japanese variant. Even if you look at some of the old like GXs or any of the Charizards, like modern Charizards, you can get them in Chinese and they're way cheaper, like a third of the price. So don't sleep on them. If you really just enjoy the artwork and you don't care about what language it's in, definitely check out Simplified Chinese. And a very easy way to do it, right? And you don't have to have like some secret source or like, you know, a hookup. You can literally go on eBay and just type in Simplified Chinese Pokemon card, or, you know, Pokemon TCG, and then type in the Pokemon. Or you can type in like EX or GX even, or VMAX. You're going to find all the cards you're looking for. But yeah, especially for a lot of the higher end English and Japanese cards, especially from like the Sun and Moon era, even Sword and Shield. Trust me, if you just are appreciating the artwork, I would highly suggest checking out the Simplified Chinese. All right, let's keep rolling. I don't have any more sleeves currently, so we're just going to put it right back. Again, I do have them on order, but here we go. Okay. Oh, man, this is awesome. Another beautiful pristine. Again, could be English, could be a different language. I don't remember, though. I mean, I don't remember the order in terms of like what the exact cards are. I just know that I went from like newest to oldest. So that's the only point of reference I have for these. Let's flip over and see what this beautiful pristine is. Ooh, okay, nice. All right, so there is the other card. So let me break these other two out. Now I kind of have a good idea of where we're going here. So, again, cards from the same set, right? This is the Hyper Rare. This is the regular VMAX. Again, still absolutely beautiful card here. It's funny, when I was talking to a bunch of Navy friends of mine and fellow Chiefs as I was going through initiation, we were talking about Blastoise and like why it's my favorite and just some cool artwork and shit. Like, this is very relative to two different things, right? If you remember Super Mario World and all the different ships that you would fly in like the boss zones, that had all the cannons all over the place, that's what this reminds me of. But then the other thing it reminds me of is like naval ships, right? With all the big cannons and all the huge guns. So yeah, it kind of ties into that Navy aspect, especially with it being water. But anyway, I'm going on a weird rant. Another absolutely beautiful pristine. This is still part of that same set. And I'm going to leave all these out because now I have an idea of what the next card is going to be. I have a rough idea. I'm not 100% sure. But let's leave this here. 2 gems and that beautiful pristine. I think I've graded this before, but I don't think I've gotten a pristine on it. So let's take a look and see what we got next. All right, here we go. I'm going to flip this over again. I have a pretty solid idea of what this card is, but let's find out together. Oh, nice. Okay, so there it is. So there are all of the variants of Blastoise from this set here. This is Primordial Arts G or Gi. I want to say it's, I don't know. I know I'm mispronouncing it, right? Obviously, I don't speak Chinese. I don't know how to read Chinese or any other foreign language, unfortunately. But I just want to be respectful. But yeah, so there we go. There's all the different Blastoise cards from that set. I still have a sealed booster box from this set. And again, Chinese exclusive, especially this artwork here. You can't find anywhere else. This, obviously, you can see it here, but the Hyper Rare you can't find anywhere else. So, all absolutely beautiful. Let's just keep rolling and put these back. Man, I cannot wait to do the full breakdown and debrief of these after the fact and kind of see how we did with the entire Blastoise collection that I have. All right, on to the next. All All right, so back to Japanese. Let's take a look and see what we got on this one. 3, 2, 1. Oh, okay, nice. So there's the Japanese variant. Didn't score as high. We only got an 8 on this one, which, again, it's still all right. I'm not going to complain about that. Always curious why, right? And I kind of look at this quickly. So this front edge, I can kind of see a little bit of whitening on this corner. Yeah, it's a little bit on that corner, and then you flip the other side, there's a little bit of whitening there. So that could be enough to pull it off. And again, the knowledge and skill set I have, that makes sense to me. So that's where my head's at for that. But again, I'll do some research after. But still, an absolutely beautiful card. This is the Japanese variant from the VMAX starter set. If you guys remember, it's actually one of my most watched one of my most watched videos on my channel. Which is awesome because I literally just opened the opened and showed off the Blastoise VMAX deck, right? Because we hadn't had one up to that point. All right, let me take a sip of water here. All right, another Japanese card, another Japanese Blastoise. Let's take a look and see which one it is. Ooh, okay, nice. Very, very nice. I've definitely graded this guy before. We get the Radiant Blastoise. So again, different variant, right? So as you guys saw from the very, very beginning, this is the Chinese Radiant. Again, different sets, right? It's not from Pokemon Go. But which Radiant do you guys like better? And if you guys aren't familiar with why it's called Radiant, it's just the shiny version of the Pokemon. So again, Chinese variant, Japanese Pokemon Go variant. I like both of them. That's why I got them graded. But maybe, I don't know, I kind of favor this one a little bit more just because there's more going on in the background. Obviously, Blastoise facing a different angle. But this one just kind of has like a different colored backdrop, which again, there's nothing wrong with it. But this one has just a little bit more art going on. So, all right, not bad. You like the Japanese one? Gotcha. But yeah, and plus like the texture on this is absolutely insane. Yeah, and again, I agree, Wabbit. Like they're both beautiful cards. I don't. Let me. How can I phrase this? It's not like I don't like any of them. Like the sumo wrestlers stance. Yeah, yep, I like that for sure. Another absolutely beautiful card. Again, we'll see that again. I've graded that a few times, but let's keep rolling and see what we got next. All right, another Japanese Blastoise. Let's see which one it is. All right, flip it on over. Ooh, okay, nice. We got a 9 on this one. Still pretty solid grade. This is the Japanese 25th anniversary promo. I've actually opened up some of these you guys have seen on the channel. These came from a single card promo pack when the 25th anniversary came out. I'm interested to see how they're going to do it for the 30th anniversary because these were so sought after and so hard to get. And again, the only way you can get those promo packs initially was going to the Japanese Pokemon Center and buying a certain amount of the packs, and then they would give you a certain amount of the promo packs based off of that. Very common practice that the Japanese Pokemon Centers do with a lot of the promotional packs and stuff like that. But anyway, absolutely beautiful card. Got that mint 9. Again, I'm not going to complain about that. I do have the Pristine sitting on my desk, which it would have been cool to have another Pristine, but again, I'll gladly take it. All right. On to the next. Let's see what we got on this one. All right, another Japanese Blastoise. A little bit of scuff here. Oh, man. That's kind of unfortunate. There's actually a scuff. You guys can see that. Yeah. Nice little scuff. And it's not a crack because I don't feel it there. It's just a little bit of a scratch on the outer plastic there. Kind of unfortunate. But let's see what the grade is, and then I'll kind of give my opinion on that in a second. Let's see which one it is. Ooh, man. Absolutely beautiful. I'm not saying man as in like, oh, man, that's a bad grade. It's just unfortunate that happened to such a beautiful card. But at least it's on the case itself, not the card. But Blastoise and Piplup, good old GX, going back a few years, 2019. This is during the Sun and Moon era where they had the tag team cards. I am slowly working on trying to get some more of the tag team cards, especially because they've held up really well. I did a submission, or I graded a submission the other day at work, which was almost all Japanese tag team cards. All the different tag team setups and all the different rarities, but they hold up really well. A lot of the issues on the English side with these, and again, it's because of English card quality. The borders here were really, really tough to grade in high grades because on the English side, they would just kind of terribly cut them and they wouldn't really take time to make sure that they were properly centered. So compared to the Japanese variants where most of their centering is absolutely spot on, man, it's unfortunate. You get a little bit of a scuff on there, but again, I'm glad it's not on the card itself. There's actually another one down on the bottom. Yeah, you kind of see it right. Maybe you can't. But anyway, so an absolutely beautiful card. I'm glad we got the gem mint on that one. Good old remix bout. There are other variants of this card, obviously higher rarities, but let's keep rolling. All right. Ooh, all right. So this one could be English or another one of the foreign languages. But let's take a look and see what we got here in 3, 2, 1. Ooh, okay. Man, I don't have luck with a lot of the Korean Pokemon cards. We got a 7-5 on this one, which again, it's not bad. Still looked like it was in pretty decent shape. I mean, if you look at centering, yeah, it's off a little bit. Some whitening on the corners there. Oh, you know what? It's right there on that edge. Yep, there it is. There's the culprit right there. You see it right on the edge right there. So it's not only that there's whitening right there. I'm trying to get it to focus. So yeah, you can kind of see it right there. There's like a big chunk of that border that's kind of messed up right there. So, okay, that's understandable. And see, that's where like I'm content with it, right? Like if I can see it and it's obvious, I like, okay, this is why the grade is what it is. Sure, makes total sense to me. It's an absolutely beautiful card, by the way. But it's one of those times where, you know, when you have like a gem mint and you're hoping for pristine, it's kind of tough to, you know, try to dig that out without looking through the images. But still, an awesome card. Again, I don't really have too many Korean Pokemon cards. Plus, it's a Blastoise, so it's another unique one for the collection. All right, on to the next. All right, back to Japanese. Let's see what we got here. And again, we're getting older and older. Well, obviously we are as people, but I mean, like, as we're going through the submission, the cards that we're looking at are going to be older and older in age. So let's take a look and see what we got on this one in 3, 2, 1. Ooh, nice. Okay, that's a big grade right there. Blastoise GX Hyper Rare. Absolutely beautiful card there. This is from the Full Metal Wall set. Man, that is absolutely beautiful. Just initial look, if I was to guess, it's probably centering. That pushed it off the pristine. I remember looking at this a lot before I submitted this. And I mean, obviously it's an extremely clean card, right? Getting the gem mint is not an easy feat. Yeah, I was hoping for the pristine on this one, but again, I'm not going to complain. Absolutely beautiful card. Again, when I was talking about like weird angles for cards, this one's kind of weird because it makes Blastoise look super wide. I mean, he kind of is, but not in his favor, if you will, right? Still an awesome card. I've been sitting on this one for a long time. So glad to finally have this one graded. And yeah, to see in that gem mint, absolutely beautiful. So there we go. On to the next. All right, here we go. Ooh, all right. English, possibly foreign language. Let's take a look and see what we got. Make sure there's no other scuffs or any kind of damage. I'd like to avoid that for the rest of these if possible. All right, let's see what we got. 3, 2, 1. Ooh, man. All right, so we got these 6 for the Blastoise EX, which is one of my favorite artworks in this, right? Because it's just so much going on. There's other Pokemon that are featured in here. And it's an absolutely beautiful XY promo. I've graded this a couple times. I think the highest grade I got was like an 8 or an 8.5, which I know I have another one of these, so we're going to look at that here in a little bit. But a 6, I mean, it's not the greatest, but it's not the worst either. I'm kind of curious, like, why? Especially because, I mean, centering looks pretty good. Yeah, and I agree, right? It's not the worst. Yeah, I mean, all the corners have a little bit of dings on them. It's got the same thing here with that border, right? Just like the previous card or the Korean card you see. It's got a little bit of edge wear there, but yeah, not bad. Again, especially because I do have one higher graded, so it's hoping to be either on par or somewhere in that ballpark. But we'll take a look. But yeah, absolutely beautiful card. This card, ungraded or raw, is getting more and more expensive because, again, it's a card from 2016, which is nuts. So you don't really see too many of these out in the wild, especially raw. And again, if you do see these cards, they're still in their sealed product, which the product itself is ridiculously expensive. So I'm glad I opened it when I did. All right, on to the next. Let's keep rolling. All right, another Blastoise, another Japanese variant. Just curious which one it is. All right, let's flip it on over and see what we got on this one. Ooh, okay, nice. I'll take that. So we got the Blastoise. This is from the black and white era originally, not the more recent one. You can tell by the hollow pattern there. But this is from the Blastoise and Kyurem EX deck. So, again, you got to remember a lot of theme decks and stuff like that. Pokemon Company's been doing for a long time. And it's always like either like two different Pokemon or it's one featured. But yeah, you can tell this is from the black and white era because they have this horizontal pattern in it that was very, very exclusive to that era. Plus, you can look at the date. This is from 2013. So a card that's got a little bit of age on it. I'm not going to complain about that. Again, absolutely beautiful in that near mint at that 7.5. Pretty cool artwork there. Blastoise just kicking up a whole bunch of water. All right, let's keep rolling on to the next one. All right, so I don't think there's going to be too many other foreign language. Well, let me rephrase that, sorry. Outside of English and Japanese, I don't think there's going to be too many other languages that pop up for the rest of this. If there are, it's going to be just a random outlier, but there aren't really too many legitimate, like, Chinese or other foreign language, or I keep saying foreign language. I guess I'm trying to think of another way to phrase it. In terms of what we would see normally, right, for like simplified Chinese, traditional Chinese, Japanese, as you get older, right, you're going to see mainly English and Japanese. And then other cards like German, Spanish, those ones are a little more prevalent. But in terms of like simplified Chinese or anything like that, you're not really going to see them as these older cards. But like I said, kind of going forward, we should see a lot of Japanese and English cards going forward. If there's another random language mixed in there, obviously we'll take a minute and look over it. But another scuff on this. This is, man, that's... All right, let's take a look at this real quick. All right, so that's on the outside. I know there's a lot of blur and you guys can't really see what I'm trying to do here, but right here on the... Oh, you're not going to be able to see it. There's a little bit of a scuff on the outer shell, which again, I'm glad it's on there and not on the card itself, but it's kind of unfortunate. I'm glad it's not cracked or even more damage, but I don't know. I know in my part of the process, you know, I'm very delicate with all the cards I work with, whether it's a $2 card or a $200 card or a $2,000 card. But anyway, let's flip it over and see what it is in 3, 2, 1. Ooh, okay. All right, this is a good one. All right, I'm glad this didn't get damaged. So, absolutely beautiful card here. This is the Blastoise Secret Rare from Plasma Storm. Getting this in an 8 is a very, very high grade, so I'll take that. Got the, this is a textured card, by the way. I know you may not be able to see it, but there's texture all over Blastoise, the edge of the card, and then on the Water Energy logo right there in the middle. But yeah, so for this one, centering, obviously an issue there. I saw a little bit of whitening in this corner here. Got it's on some of the other corners, so I think that's fair in an 8. Again, absolutely beautiful because that is a huge hit, especially getting that in 8. I remember buying this at a card show. I don't remember which one, but definitely glad I picked it up because, yeah, a card from 2012 in this condition, no complaints there. So there we go. Blastoise, Plasma Storm, Secret Rare. Again, just stuff you don't really see anymore. And again, to be in this condition, I'm not going to complain about that. I'll take it. All right. Almost halfway through this. And then again, we still have the other half. And then I'm going to break out all the other Blastoise cards. So we're in for a long haul in this stream, folks. Hopefully you're enjoying it. If you are, here comes the shameless plug. Make sure you hit that like button and consider subscribing if you haven't already. If you are subscribed, make sure you bring some friends and family over here. Share this with them. Show the content. And hopefully this is one of the reasons why they hit that sub button. All right, let's take a look. Continue on. See what else we got getting added to the collection today. 3, 2, 1. Ooh, okay, nice. I'll take that. So another card, even older. This is from 2007. Good old Secret Wonders Holo. Now this is kind of cool because I know the next few cards here, so I'm excited to see how they shake out. But yeah, really, really cool. This is when they were kind of doing like more 3D style artwork, which is kind of crazy to look at like where cards came from, even like base set to this point, and then where cards are now, where like everything is in absolutely insane art rare or an SAR. But yeah, absolutely beautiful card, which is funny because again, this one and the next two, I'm pretty sure I got all at the same time or from the same person. So yeah, I'm gonna leave this on the table just for a second because again, I have a rough idea of what we're gonna look at next. So let's see how we do on the next one. All right, so here we go. Another English, potentially, right? And again, I'm just making that assumption because I don't think there's any other Chinese cards in the mix from here going forward. All right, let's see what we got in this one. Flip it on over. Ooh, okay, nice. Okay, I'll take that. So we got the reverse. So that one's the regular holo. We got the reverse holo in an 8 as well. Now this one I was kind of excited to grade, right? Because if you look, it's a really, really awesome print line. Right through the name there, it goes all the way through. So most of the time with print lines, if it is a print line and not an indent, it doesn't impact the card as much as you would think. And again, if that's an indent, that's very, very different because that's, that'd be considered damage. But if it's a print line, it's something that's a factory issue and it's not like 1,000 of them, you know what I mean? Like it's still taken into consideration, but you're not going to like grossly, like horribly grade the card because of that. But again, centering on this one, yeah, it's definitely all from the back. Obviously, there's some whitening and stuff on the corners. But hey, not too bad. So there we go. So we got the holo in an 8, and we got the reverse in an 8. Now let's see the next one. I'm pretty sure this still goes with that. Okay, if I remember correctly, even though, yes, this is a Japanese card, I think it still goes with the theme of this potential trio. We're going to take a look here in just a second. All right, let's see what we got on this one. Flip it on over. Ooh, okay, nice. All right, I'll take it. So we get the 8 in the Japanese variant as well. Yeah, so it's funny. So this is from the Shining Darkness set. The English set was called Secret Wonders. Why they did drastically different names, that's beyond me. Sometimes it's a translation issue. Sometimes they just pick different names. But so there we go. Not too bad. We got 8s for all of them, right? So the regular holo, the reverse, and then the Japanese variant. I'll take it. That's not bad at all. Again, these are all from the Diamond and Pearl era. So yeah, gladly take that. Not bad at all. Let's see what we got next. So 3 more cards on this side of the box, and then we break over to the second half. All right, let's see what we got on this one here. Potentially another English card here. Can already tell right away there's a lot of edge wear on the bottom of this one, but again, it's all stuff for me, the personal collection. I'm not overly concerned with how the grade is, right? Again, unless it's something that I thought was going to grade really, really high and didn't. And I've had that happen before because it does happen. Then I'll kind of look more into it, but some of these I knew weren't going to be perfect. But let's see which one this is in 3, 2, 1. Ooh, okay, nice. Nice, I'll gladly take that. We got the gem, or I'm sorry, not gem. I wish it was gem mint. We got the near mint for the Blastoise from Crystal Guardians. This is the reverse holo. If you guys remember from this time frame, all the reverse holos had the set stamp on it, which is funny because now, anytime you see a set stamp, you think pre-release. I know some promos, well, technically promos have the set stamps on them, but they're not actual promos. But yeah, that's absolutely beautiful. I'll gladly take that. And again, reverse holo. So the difference between this, right, the regular holo, you wouldn't have that stamp on it, and you just have, traditional holo pattern on it. But again, that kind of makes sense, right? Like, I feel why this would grade a 7. But yeah, no complaints. Absolutely beautiful, near mint. And again, Crystal Guardians, I love the stamp on that one. Let's see what we got next. All right. So I'm going to take this out. I'm going to go ahead and pre-pull the next one because I've got an interesting feeling about this one. I have an idea of what these two cards are. And without looking into it ahead of time, like I said, I don't look at any of the set lists, especially once it says shipped, because if you click on the link, then it shows the entire order and all the grades, and I don't want to spoil that. So let's take a look and see what the first one is. Again, you see a little bit of damage on this one. Not in the best of shape by any means, but again, it's for me, so I don't care either way. Let's flip it over and see what we got. Ooh, okay. So we got a 6 on this one. So again, another Crystal Guardians. This is the Delta Species Blastoise. Now, what's special about Delta Species, if you haven't picked up on it, this is a fighting type Blastoise, which is kind of sick. The whole gimmick or theme with the Delta Species, it's just a different card type, right? So there's like Steel Raichu. I think Charizard had a different... I don't remember what Charizard's was now that I'm thinking about it. Because, yeah, I'm drawing a blank anyway. I don't want to waste too much time. But that's the whole thing with Delta Species. Now, the Delta Species card type, if you will, came across a bunch of different sets. So yes, this is featured in Crystal Guardians, but they did it in multiple different sets, which is kind of cool. I wish they would bring back Delta Species. I know like all the Terraform stuff that we saw in Scarlet Violet, it's kind of similar to that, but I think this was a much cleaner way to do it. Instead of just adding a bunch of crystals on top of a Pokemon's head and being like, hey, now you're a dark type. I like this a lot better. So, card from 2006, got a 6. Let's take a look and see how this other one did. Now, this one, I would say is probably in similar or worse shape than its English counterpart. But I saw this card and I was like, hey, I got to have it for the collection. Yeah, corners are pretty beat up on this one. It's pretty bad. You can see for yourself there. Definitely not gem mint by any means. You got a scratch going right across the Pokeball there and on the side. Anyway, let's flip it over and see how we did. Oh, nice. Okay, so we got a 3 on the Japanese variant. Yeah, I knew this one was pretty rough. So the other reason why this grade is so low also, if you see right on his body right there, if we can get it to focus a little bit, there's a nice little crease right there. So anytime there's a crease or a bend in a card, that's where it's going to take the biggest hit. Because most of the time with creases, right, it kind of, spreads out a little bit, or there's secondary damage from a crease or a bend. But the cool thing about this card, this is a first edition card. So again, even in a 3, still take it. It is very good. It's very good to me. So no complaints there. But again, I mean, you guys have seen, I even have some Raichu cards that are like 2s or 3s. You're inevitably going to get some cards that grade low like that, especially if you're aware of the condition. But again, first edition Delta Species in Japanese, I'll gladly take it. No complaints there. All right, so before we get into the second half, I am going to take a quick break. We are just at the 90-minute mark of the stream, which I appreciate everyone coming through. Hang out. Please don't go anywhere. If you do, just grab yourself a snack, grab yourself something to drink, because I'm going to do the same thing. Plus, I need to stand up. Sitting down for 90 minutes without standing up or stretching is not a good idea, which is funny because I've gamed for like 10 or 12 hours at a time. But anyway, hang out. I'll be right back. Just take a couple minutes. Again, chit-chat amongst yourselves. Talk about what your favorite card is you've seen so far, and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Okay, let's get right back into it. All right. Yes, yeah, I washed my hands even though I didn't go to the bathroom, but yeah, thanks. All right, so let's see what we got here. Yeah, I just got a drink, got a little cough drop here. Hopefully that'll help. But on to the next. Again, we have 24 more. Unfortunately, it's not 25, but 24 more. And again, just keeps getting better and better as these cards get older and older. And then again, we're going to look at everything, and then we're going to sort everything with all my other graded Blastoise cards. So again, stick around or pop in and out as you see fit. I know it's a long time to just sit and just do one thing, but it's all good. Appreciate you being here. Let's take a look and see what we got. Ooh, okay. I'll take that. So this is Sid's Blastoise. This came from the Pokemon VS or Versus packs, which are extremely rare. It was like a very, very small little subset. I remember I had this card graded before, and I think got like a 2 or a 3. So definitely an upgrade there. Now, in all fairness, which is actually kind of funny, the person I bought this from said, yeah, it's definitely near mint, dude. You should be good to go. Which, hey, I mean, according to the label, they didn't lie, right? It's excellent and near mint, so I'll take it. But again, such a cool looking card, and it's almost obscure. You know what I mean? Like, you don't really see these too often, especially with a card from 2004. And still in this shape, right? Obviously, it's not the best, but it's obviously not the worst either. But I'll take it. Very, very nice. Good old Sid's Blastoise. All right. See what we got next. Ooh, almost dropped it. Definitely don't want to do that, right? That's the last thing I want to do is crack any of these or mess these up at all. So here we go. English. See what we got in this one. And it's so funny because like the back of this card is so dark that this is probably like either a fresher card in that print, or early on when like all the ink and all that stuff is still like very heavily saturated. And you can pick up on those things, right? Especially after you grade thousands of cards. You can see where like, oh, this is probably towards the end of the print run before they had to, you know, swap out the ink or however that works. Or, you know, before they have to do maintenance on the machine kind of thing. Anyway, let's take a look. I think that's a smudge on the... All right, anyway, let's take a look and see what we got in this one. Looks pretty clean. Hoping for the best here. Let's see what we got. Ooh, nice. Okay, that's sick. I will gladly take that. Good old Expedition Blastoise here. This is the reverse holo. There is a holo, obviously. But yeah, getting that in that 8 is absolutely amazing. I'll gladly take that. Good old e-reader card here. For those of you that aren't too long in the tooth and you don't know what that is, you would take your Game Boy Advance and it came with a e-reader attachment. So you can literally swipe this card into that e-reader device and it would either, you know, unlock something or it would just give you information about it. Now, again, if I pull this card fresh nowadays, I wouldn't be swiping it through an e-reader. But yeah, absolutely amazing. I would gladly take that. Such a beautiful card. Again, a little bit of whitening on the corners there and the edges. So yeah, I'll look a little bit further in it, but again, I'm content with that. That's an absolutely beautiful card. So on to the next. All right, here we go. All right, so this one's a little beat up, just a little bit, right? You can tell by the corners and some of the edges there. It's not in great shape. Hey, the centering still looks good, though. Can't complain about that. But yeah, look at the edge on that one. Pretty rough. But let's take a look and see which one it is. In 3, 2, 1. Ooh, okay, nice. All right, so we get the 5/5 on Dark Blastoise. Now, as you guys know, obviously, I'm a big Blastoise fan. Even more of a fan of the Dark Blastoise variant. This one came from the Legendary Collection set. So, if you guys remember, and I'm going to do a little humble brag real quick. Still got this guy sitting on the wall next to me. So, this is the box topper from Legendary Collections. This is the reverse holo. Now, they did make it in normal size in the reverse holo, but this came in the top of the booster box. This is how CGC grades the jumbo cards. This is the only one that's graded, and yes, I put in this pretty cool frame, kind of pressed and squeezed it together, but that's I still need to get this Blastoise in the regular size card. But just wanted to show that off real quick. But yeah, 5/5, completely understandable. Again, you kind of see, even from the little bit I was talking about before, edges are obviously an issue. Centering, there's like some gunk and stuff on here. But yeah, I'm not going to complain about that. That's not bad. Completely understandable in the old 5/5. All right. Let's see what we got next. All right. Another English card. Dinged up a little bit. Got some whitening in those corners. So I did. Again, we have feedback sessions all the time. And, you know, it's kind of built into our routine meetings where we kind of end with any kind of feedback. And obviously you can submit feedback through the website as well. But we talked about it. And we talked about the reason why they're doing it this way. Especially because that material they use to grade those is the same one they use for like posters and other box toppers for other stuff outside of Pokemon. So it just made sense to stick with the same thing instead of having to do like R&D and make like a case like this but bigger. I still think they should go this route, and I voiced that opinion. Yeah, we'll see if that change ever happens. And I made it very apparent to one of my managers. Said, hey, if you know we have a meeting and you say, hey, we're making the change, I'll resubmit mine. I'll be the first one to do it just to see how it looks. But for right now, it's cool to know that I have the only one that's graded like that. And yes, I know there's plenty graded through PSA. I'm not saying it's the only one out there, but the only one through CGC. All right, let's see what we got on this one. Flip it on over. Ooh, nice. All right, 7/5. All right, so this is from Team Rocket, one of the best sets of all time, no matter if it's English or Japanese or other language variants. Yeah, that's not bad. 7/5, I'll take that. This is a non-holo. Number 20 of 82. Absolutely beautiful card. Again, it probably has to do with a lot of the wear and tear on the back. Not bad. Take it. All right, so let's see. Ooh, okay. So I know exactly where we're going with these ones. This is going to be fun. If you guys remember when I did this initially, and you kind of see the trend we're going into now, I'm super excited to see this next little bit of this section. Now this one here, I don't know how well you can tell. It's not, the centering's not great. Obviously, it's got a little bit of wear and tear on it. Yeah, like that dot's on the card itself, not the case. Corners are kind of beat up. But again, I submitted a whole bunch of stuff that was in my collection, and I just wanted it sealed and protected. So not really overly concerned with the grade, but let's take a look and see what we got in 3, 2, 1. Nice. All right. Got the 5.5 for this one. Man, it looks even more obvious on the front. You see how bad the centering is. You see the corners are jacked up. You got some print lines there. You got some dots and stuff all over the front. And yes, I did try to, clean some of these cards up a little bit, but I'm not one of those people that's going to like polish a card or do all these crazy, put it in a humidor and flatten it out and do all this crazy stuff. Like, yeah, I'm good on that. If anything, just take a little bit of a rag, like microfiber, a little Q-tip, try and clean up a little bit. But just a quick little insight for those that like go and polish cards and think, oh yeah, I'm going to get a better grade now. Most grading companies can tell, and it's actually something that grading companies won't grade the card. Even if it is authentic, it's considered altered at that point. So I would suggest not doing that. But that's just me. What do I know? I'm just a professional. But all right, 5.5 in this one. We're going to leave this on the table because we're about to go on a little bit of a run here. So let's see what's next. And again, I have a rough idea of where we're going here. So I'm going to kind of rapid fire some of these. Not for the sake of time, because I literally have all day, but just because I want to get all these out here and look at them together. This one looks like it's a little bit better, but let's take a look and see. Nice. Okay. That's definitely better. All right. So this is that stint where I submitted a bunch of Dark Blastoise. Now, you can tell centering here is off. Not too bad, though. Again, some wear and tear on the back. Completely normal for a card that's that old, 1997. But again, we're going to leave it here. Let's keep rolling. I think I did... Oh, man. Now I'm questioning how many I graded, so it's all right. Let's go to the next one. And yes, I say the next one because, again, I know that there's a bunch of these in a row. Got a little bit of chipped edge there. All right, let's see how we did on this one. 7.5, okay. So this one somehow did better than the previous, even with that little bit of wear and tear. Okay, there must have been something worse on this one. And again, like, you're going to say, oh, how do you grade so many of those cards like that back to back to back? When I tell you I did a submission, or I graded a submission, rather, that was 200 of the exact same card, you can definitely tell the differences, right? You can see where things are. Yeah, I hear you on that, Wabbit, for sure. Yep, I absolutely agree. Especially from when I got these cards initially to where they're at now, even ungraded. Yeah, even vintage has gone up. So, yeah, that's definitely one of my goals as well, is to kind of dip back into getting some vintage stuff, especially like web series and that kind. But yeah, like I said, like in terms of, if you have a whole bunch of cards in a row, how do you differentiate grades, especially this close? Well, that's why we have like a scale and logic behind the way we do things. But again, I've graded 200 of the exact same card in a row. Got a bunch of different grades because, again, like you can kind of see what really, really good looks like and what really, really bad looks like. And then, everything else just kind of floats in the middle. So on to the next. See how we did here. Again, I'm assuming this is another. Ooh, nice. Okay. The Dark Blastoise, another 7.5. That's hilarious. Again, pretty good grades. I'm not going to complain about that, especially with vintage, right? Like, for me, if I get a 7 or higher, I'll take it. 5.5s, again, it's not great, but the card's not in absolutely terrible shape. So, all right. So there's that 4 on the table. I want to say there's 3 more, but I'm going to caution and do it this way instead of just getting right into it. This one's got some edge wear. The centering looks pretty good. It is shifted a little bit left to right. All right, let's flip it on over. Ooh, nice. Okay. Oh, for sure. Yeah, I'm not going to complain. We get the 8 on this one. So again, big one on this one's probably centering, and then a little bit of that edge wear. But that's absolutely sick. I'll gladly take that. Very, very nice. Again, it's one of my favorite artworks. So, yeah, I was just happy to have all these and be like, hey, we're going to push them all at the same time. All right. I want to say there's this one and one more. Let's take a look and see. Okay. This one definitely has some edge wear. If I was to guess, based off what we've seen already, it's probably going to be like the 7 or lower range. again, just looking at what we've seen already, all right, and this is how you can kind of do like sampling, right? You kind of see what good looks like and what bad looks like and where the defects are, and you kind of adjust accordingly. But take a look and see how this one, again, I'm assuming that range. Oh, okay, and I'm spot on. Man, it's like I get paid to do this or something. That's hilarious. So there we go. Another 7. All right. Move them up just a little bit. Again, I think there's one more. I think I did a batch of 7, but we're about to find out. All right. So, ooh. I got a real good feeling about this one. I knew at least one of them in the batch was really, really nice. This is probably it. So, a little bit of centering issues, right? It's just off right to left. I don't see any issues in the corners. And again, I don't have my crazy big light on me because, well, I have it next to me, but I just don't have a bulb in it. I hope so. That would be sick. All right. Let's see what we got on this one. 3, 2, 1. Ooh, nice. And Wabbit calls it. We get the 9. Oh, that's absolutely beautiful. I wonder what pushed it off from the 10. I truly do. It's, I mean, maybe centering, right? Especially bottom to top if you look at it on this side. But damn, is that a beautiful card. Yeah, no complaints there for sure. Yeah, I'd say that's probably it, like centering. Unless there's some whitening I'm not seeing or like maybe a surface scratch I'm missing. But absolutely beautiful. So again, from 5.5 to 9, I think we did really good on these. So let me put these back in here. Let's keep rolling. And I graded a couple of these previously, so I'm interested to see how they fit with the rest of them. And yes, I'm keeping them in the order that they came in right now. Once we get to the recap at the end and the resort, then obviously I'll put them in different order. All right, there we go. All right, back to English. Move this back just a little bit. This one looks pretty good. I say pretty good because I can see some edge wear. A little bit of issues with the corners. All right, let's flip her on over and see what we got. Ooh, okay, nice. I will gladly take that. Now, this card here, this is the base set Blastoise, but this is an error, which, so there's a reason why it doesn't say error over here, because we're not the only ones that do it this way, meaning CGC. But if it's a known error, right, especially one that's come through endless amount of times, it's just built into the database that way. So, yep. So if you see that red dot right above the water energy logo right there, it's a factory error, right? For some reason, in a random print of this batch, there's this red dot that appears, and there's a lot of them out there. I mean, it's still a rare error, but yeah, that's the error there. So, yeah. So very, very nice base set Blastoise. In a 7, I will gladly take it because that's really, really good shape for a card that's that old. Again, I kind of had a rough idea. It wasn't going to be pristine, but it's cool to have this as an error. Yeah. So, again, no complaints there. I'll gladly take that. All right. On to the next. We're about halfway through this line here. Ooh. Oh, this one I'm very, very excited about. So, this one, I had 2 options because I had this card twice, and I decided to go with this one mainly because, and this is gonna sound weird, but I knew it was gonna grade very, very low. And if you see here, if you remember when I did the preview, and you can kind of see it now, there's a huge cross crease on this one. Obviously, this card's fairly beat up. It's not in the best of shape by any means, but I was hoping for a low grade on this, which I know sounds weird because most people, when they grade stuff, they're like, oh, I want to get the highest grade ever. I just wanted to see how low this card would go, and I didn't do anything to it, right? Like, yes, I could have taken it and bent it and beat it up even more. Let me change the music real quick while I'm saying this. but I didn't. Oh, I bump into my desk now. And again, I could have easily, beaten this card up way more to try and get as low as possible, but I just wanted to get it graded in the state that this is in. So, again, I'm excited to see how this turns out, especially for what the card is. But let's flip it over and let's see how we did in 3, 2, 1. Ooh, nice. Okay. So we get the 3 on the base set Shadowless Blastoise. My man, absolutely love it. And again, I mean, you can see dents, you can see the scratches, obviously the huge creases there, some pretty deep scratches on the bottom. But honestly, when I got this card, I think I paid like 40 bucks for it, maybe 50 at the high end when I got this, especially because I knew it was in terrible shape. And it was funny because as soon as I saw it, I asked the guy, I said, hey man, how much you want for this card? He's like, oh, you're pretty eager. I said, yeah, I'm a huge Blastoise fan, and plus it's a Shadowless. He's like, oh, it's not in the best of shape. And I said, yeah, I kind of picked up on that. But I told him the same thing I always tell you guys, right? It's for me. It's going to be for the personal collection, something I'm going to hold on to. Now, I do have another one of these. It's in my binder with my complete set. But again, it was a toss-up of, hey, did I want a higher grade, or do I want to keep the one that's in better shape in the binder? So I decided to grade this one. So there we go. A very good Shadowless Blastoise in that 3. Try one of my lowest Blastoise grades I have. I think the other Sid's Blastoise is a 2 or a 2.5. I don't think I have any 1s yet. But that's kind of the goal, to have like the lowest grade I can get. And obviously I have a bunch of pristines. So, all right, let me make sure I'm grabbing the right thing. Okay, so here. All right, let's see what we got next. Okay, back to Japanese. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, I know, right? It's always funny seeing those titles, right? Especially when you see stuff like the 6 or even 5s. We're like, oh, it's excellent. I'm like, yeah, but it's half. You know what I mean? Like it is funny seeing that, right? Because I think even like 1s or 2s, it says it's like fair, or like none of the grades. Even if you get a 1, it doesn't say like destroyed or like trash. You know, like they still try and keep it somewhat positive. All right, so. If this card is what I think it is, we're going to kind of pull out a bunch of the next cards together, because this is super exciting. So, again, we're still getting older, but this is where things start getting a little more expensive, too. If this is the card I'm thinking of, if it's not, then I'm dumb and I don't know what I'm talking about. But anyway, let's flip it over and see what we got in 3, 2, 1. Ooh, nice. Okay, so here it is. So, absolutely beautiful. This is one of my favorite Blastoise artworks, by the way. This is from the 1999 Squirtle deck. Now, it says intro pack. Now, this came with a VHS tape. It was a Squirtle deck and a Bulbasaur deck. So, that's a really good grade for this card, especially for how old it is now. I'm going to keep this here because, if you guys remember, I grade a couple of these, and then a different variant of the next one. So I'm going to pull both of these next ones out. Do these both here like this. Let's see what we got. Ooh, okay. If any of these would have been a pristine, do you guys remember what I said before? I would have absolutely freaked out, but there's some things I'd have to live up to, right? If I get a pristine in any of these. So let's take a look at these, right? So we got the 8 on the first one. I'm excited but nervous because it took me a while to get these cards, and it's one of my favorite artworks for Blastoise outside of base set and dark Blastoise. All right, here we go. Let's see what we got on this one. Let's wipe this off. Let's look at it for a second. I don't know. It's another one that looks really good. I mean, centering's off a little bit, but let's flip it on over and see how we did in 3, 2, 1. Ooh, nice. Another 8. All right, I'll take it. Yeah, you see the centering's off. It's a little more obvious on the front side of this. Yeah, the back side is actually better centered than the front, which is kind of funny. But we got another 8 on this one. No complaints. Absolutely beautiful card. Again, another one from the Squirtle deck. Set you right here. All right. Let's see. Can we get higher than an 8? It would be exciting. Looking like similar centering. I see one little white dot on that top border. All right. Let's see what we got on this one. 3, 2, 1. Oh, nice. Yes. All right. So we get the 9 in this one with that big old swirl right next to him. Oh, that's absolutely amazing. Oh, that's exciting. Man, especially because you don't see these anymore. And you know what's funny? I'm actually trying to find a sealed copy of the VHS, especially because CGC grades VHSs. And we do video games as well. I would love to get a sealed copy of it graded. So not only do I have these cards, and I want to get the Venusaurs graded as well. But yeah, that's absolutely beautiful for sure. And again, the main things for this one, right, is probably that little bit of centering, that little white dot on the top there. But yeah, that is huge for sure. Now, I'm going to leave these here because the next batch is just as exciting. So, take all these out. Okay. I'm excited but nervous, but let's take a look, and we're going to move these out. So let's go with the first one. Okay. Let's go with the second one. Okay, so no pristines, unfortunately. But, still potential. Some pretty high grades. Let's start with this first one. Now, I can tell right away, this one's got that crease corner, so not going to be a crazy high grade by any means. Which is sad because, like, the rest of this card looks pretty good. At least, you know, I don't really see any other scratches. Centering looks solid, but just has that bent corner. Now, if I was some kind of magician or wizard and knew how to fix bends, I would have. But unfortunately, I'm not. All right, let's flip over and see how we did on this one. 3, 2, 1. Oh, okay, we got a 5 on this one. All right, so now the difference is, right, so again, these were the Squirtle Deck Intro Pack promo. This is the CD promo, right, from 1998. You guys have seen me showing off the CD before. I do have the entire set graded in the OG CGC Blue label. But obviously, you guys know I've had a bunch of these other ones for a while, been sitting on these. And I've been wanting to get these graded for a long time. Honestly, and this is kind of crazy, if it didn't have that corner crease, this would be a very high grade. Very, very high grade. But it just shows you how detrimental creases and bends are, especially when it comes to grading. So, because if you look at like centering, right, centering is absolutely gorgeous. At least from this, right, I can't really see any major scratches or flaws that would kind of go in this area. Usually as you get down to this area, right, you see a lot of whitening, you see scratches, you see a lot of like surface issues, but you don't. Like the only issue is that one corner, which again, it's ever so slight, but there is a bend in that crease there. That just shows how much, you know, it takes a hit for that kind of damage. And the only other thing I would say is the centering is slightly off. But if that wasn't there, this would definitely be in like the 9, maybe even 9.5 range. But yeah, I'm going to look at the scans and stuff after just to see if there's anything else I'm missing. But again, even from my own experience as a grader, this makes sense. Like, and now again, if this hit my desk and I was looking at this, I'd be sad because, you know, it's such a beautiful card. But again, you have to be fair. You have to assess it accordingly. And again, that kind of damage definitely does chip it down that far, but it's all good. Let's move on to the next one. All right, let's see what we got next. Excited but nervous here. Excited but nervous. Cleaning it off. All right, let's flip it on over and let's see how we did on this one in 3, 2, 1. Ooh, nice. Okay. We get the 8.5 on this one. I'll gladly take that. So, just for reference, for this card specifically, the CD promo, obviously the Squirrel Deck promo, this is my first time grading these. That's my highest grade for that. And the highest grade I have for the CD promos is a 9. So, real quick, let me just grab it just to show you. Oh. And again, it's in the old CGC Blue label, but here we go. Now, this is one that I bought raw and got graded. which did really well. This was months and months ago, so that's probably highly inaccurate now. But yeah, so let's see. We fit them over here. Nah, it's a little too glossy. It's all right. You guys get the idea, right? So let's see how I'm going to just set this over here because obviously I'm going to pull them back over here in just a little bit as we resort everything. All right, so here we go. Last one, not for this mission, obviously. We still have more Blastoise, but in terms of these CD promos. Move all these up just a little bit. You guys can see that all right? That looks good. Okay. Here we go. Let's look over this one. Oof. There's one little white dot on that bottom border. It looks really, really good. Centering just a little bit, but that's still within threshold for a good centering. You know what I mean? Like, if it's slightly off, it's not going to make or break it. But obviously, it's not a pristine. So let's see how we did on this one in 3, 2, 1. Oh, let's go. Yes, that is absolutely insane. And again, another big swirl. Yeah, that's absolutely beautiful. Wow. So there we go. The new king in the updated label. So I'm still going to keep this one with the set, right? Especially because they're all the old blue labels. But wow. Wow, wow, wow. You know, and I said before, right? If you don't get a pristine, this is what you want to see. And a card from 1998. And still held true this whole time. Also, you know, give myself a little bit of pat on the back of how I've had these, you know, sleeved and protected and sitting in a box secure for all these years. Not since 1998, but since I purchased this. Yeah, that's absolutely insane. Absolutely beautiful. So we get a gem mint. Whew. That's absolutely gorgeous. I can only imagine how expensive this card is. But yeah, you get the full swirl and almost the start of another swirl on the bottom there. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, super excited about that one for sure. So yeah, again, the VHS or the intro pack promo, we got the highest was a 9. We got the gem mint. Oh my goodness, absolutely beautiful. Have you hear that? Let's see if I can. That's the label moving around. Gotta love it. Thank you, thank you. That's, yeah, this is huge for sure. Man, it's super exciting. I wish I had another sleeve. That's all right. They're coming in. You know what? Hold on. I'm actually gonna. Sorry, buddy, but yeah, I gotta sleeve this one for sure. That one will get a sleeve when the other ones come in, but yeah. You know, in terms of, you know, like holy grail pieces for my collection and stuff that I've really, really wanted. Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, when I talk about my number one grail, right? The card that I've always wanted was this, right? Japanese holo base set, no rarity. Right? This is like the pinnacle of what I wanted for my collection. This was right behind it. So the only other thing that I need to get would either this be in a higher grade, which probably isn't going to happen, or I need to get a shadowless Blastoise in a high grade. Yeah, it'd be cool to get a first edition shadowless, but even ungraded, they're crazy expensive. But wow, just absolutely insane. And we still got a little bit more. We're not done yet. So we got a few more to go through. And then again, if you want to stick around, you're more than welcome to. I probably won't do too much talking once we get to the next portion of the stream because my voice is definitely going out. And I mean, good thing, you know, at work I don't have to do a whole bunch of talking. But yeah, just, God, man, that is absolutely beautiful. Absolutely insane. Again, with the swirl on there too, just that icing on the cake. Damn. I'm so glad. All right, on to the next. Ooh. So, I kind of saw what the front of the card is, and I'm doing it this way because if I show you either side, you'll get an idea of what it is. But you know what? No, we'll just do it this way. We'll lean it over this way. And then you know what? Because I already know. So there we go. Look familiar? Looks pretty similar, I would say. Right? 2 cards. 2 very, very old cards. I know it says Bandai 1996. I think these are... Yeah, they're either from 96 or 97. You see the old sprite on the back? I'm so excited but nervous to see these ones. All right, let me wipe these off. Talk about it a little bit more. So again, this is before the official Pokemon TCG even started. Bandai, or the subsidiary of Bandai, which is called Cardass or Cardass, was making Pokemon cards. And also Top Sun made Pokemon cards as well. And then they officially did the trading card game. But these 2 here are obviously, as you can tell, very, very old. Let's flip over. We're going to flip them both at the same time. Why the hell not, right? Let's flip it over in 3, 2, 1. Ooh! Oh, nice. All right. I will gladly take that. A 7-5 for the red and an 8-5 for the green. Now, the cool thing about these is these used to come out of like a vending machine, which I actually saw someone selling the vending machine the other day. Way too expensive for me, but yeah. So, in theory, you got the original 151 all in the red variant, and then you had them in the green variant. And then there's like 3 or 4 other cards, like the map cards, that went along with this set. And then you also had like the almost like promo cards for these, where it was Charizard, Blastoise, Venusaur. But yeah, obviously the OG artwork here. I'm honestly blown away. Like, these are pretty high grades for these, especially because they're hollows and they're from 1996. And again, like, I knew they weren't perfect, but I will absolutely take these grades. That's absolutely insane. Man, just absolutely stunning. Wow, wow, wow. It's so funny because, again, a lot of these cards I've been sitting on for a long time. And it's just nice to finally see how they turned out. Some of these, for years, I've been sitting on these cards. Some of them, a little more recent than others. But, yeah, super excited to see these. Now, slide over because there is a third piece to this puzzle, if you will. So there's actually, in all fairness, there's 4 pieces to this, because this is the green back variant. There's a blue back variant, which I'm still working on trying to get. But this one, about the same age, different manufacturer, almost same kind of card size, right? It's very similar. But let's take a look and see what we got on this one. I'm excited but nervous because, again, this card is very, very old. I bought it and thought it was in good shape, and I did my best to keep it that way. But let's see how we did on this one. In 3, 2, 1. Ooh, nice. Okay. So we get the near mint 7 on this one. So this is from Top Sun. Oh, and actually, let me... There we go. That's a little more fitting. So this came out shortly after Cardass did theirs. Again, same artwork, a lot different kind of card style, right? This looks drastically different. But yeah, this was around the same time, again, about a year, maybe even a few months after the Pokemon TCG came out in Japan, because, again, the base set dropped in 96. But yeah, all those are really, really good grades for how old these cards are. I'm not going to complain. So let's see, what was the... Oh, I can just look at the cert number. So it goes this, this, and then you. All right. So we have 2 more. Unfortunately, I say 2 more because there should have been 3 more, but it's all right. just 2 more cards left. I can't wait to see how these did. So let's grab this one. So just a little guy. And we're going to grab this one. Ending off with 2 really, really neat and unique cards. So this one, as you can see, right, because of how small it is, and especially stuff like this, right, we have a different process where it still goes in a card sleeve, but you see these smaller little inserts come in the middle to hold it in place. And then it goes in a sleeve, so it still crimps on those sides there and holds it in place so you don't get this moving around at all. Very, very smart technique. Whoever designed this is a genius. But let's take a look and see what we got here. 3, 2, 1. Ooh, nice. Okay. Very, very nice. I'll gladly take that. So, a little caveat, right? This one isn't super old. This one's from 2018. But because I was doing the Blastoise and I was kind of going through the whole run, I said, hey, what the hell? Let's put it in here. Especially with the sticker Blastoise that was supposed to be right behind this, which, again, we'll take this back out. This was supposed to be right here, so it would have been super fitting. But, you know, I actually have a spot for this. And I'm going to keep this on the back. Well, let me do something. Hold on. So I'm just going to put it... Let me see something. I'm sidetracking myself here, but just bear with me a second. Goes like that. All right, so yeah, I've got a spot on my desk. I'm going to put this up. All right, so there we go. Nice, there we go. So the sticker next to the other sticker. Okay, so again, this one's pretty cool. Again, very, very small card. It's a Bandai Kids cards. Again, this probably came from like some little vending machine. Really, really neat though. Again, something you don't really see too often. And again, with a grade like that, I'll gladly take it. That's not bad at all. All right. And last, but definitely not least, it's kind of crazy to think, 49 brand new Blastoise graded cards added to the collection. Again, we'll do total count here in just a few minutes. Get a total count and see where I'm at. Now, I do have more Blastoise cards, but keep in mind, some of them are with sets and binders, and I'm not going to take those out. But there's still more to get, right? Like, I still need to get another Shadowless. There's a couple other variants I still need to get too. There's some of the other Expedition cards I need to get. I need to get to the other Legendary Collection Blastoise. So there's some big hitters still out there, even though I have a few. But yeah, hopefully Pokemon Company keeps adding more Blastoise cards. I will keep getting them. I will keep grading them. I will keep collecting them. But let's see if we can end off on a high note with this very last one and very, very weird and obscure card. I want to say this one's also from like 97, maybe even 98 kind of time frame. Well, let's take a look. Let's see if we end off with a bang in 3, 2, 1. Ooh, nice. Okay. I will gladly take that. So good old Top Sun here, 1997. This is the Versus. Now, the reason why this is awesome, I wanted to end with this one, is because you have Blastoise in OG stance right there. But you also have Dragonite flying in. So there's a bunch of these Versus cards from this little series, which, again, very, very short series. But I thought that was so neat because, again, it's 2 of my favorites on one card. But yeah, getting that at 8.5, that's definitely a good grade for, again, a card that's that old. All right, not bad. So now what I need to do is you take everything out of here. Yeah, it looks absolutely insane, right? So now I'm going to take everything back out. Try and be careful. I'll lay all these out. I'm not going to do it by grade. Let me just take this off here. Oh, there's no way I'm fitting everything on the desk. Okay. Let me rethink this before I do this. No, you know what? Let's just do grade. Let's do grade, and then I'll sort everything here in a second. So, because again, I know I'm going off of the age of the card, so let's just go by grade. So let's do a stack for my 7s and 7.5s. And again, without the sleeves on, they stack pretty nice. So And again, I'm still trying to be careful because I don't want to scratch any of these. Oof. The big boy. The 10. 8, 5. 5. So usually I'll do like 6 and under in its own stack there. We got a 9 here. Let me know if you guys can still see this. Obviously, let me know. Let's bring these down here. Yeah, we'll do 9s, 10s, and then pristines here. Slide these over. You guys can still see this, right? This still looks good. Someone let me know. Let's do this even further, right? And again, I'm gonna literally just redo this here in a minute, but okay, thank you. There we go. Okay, good. Yeah, that still looks good. All right. Next, we got, let's slide over just a little bit more. The reason being is I want the outlier to stand out by themselves. No, that's all right. We'll stack these up. Again, anything that's like 6 and under just goes into that stack. Again, it's still insane to see a Shadowless Blastoise in a 3. All right. Another 7. The 9, absolutely beautiful 9. And again, just 2 absolutely big hitters right here. I might have to redo my desk again because before, so on my desk I have the 2 Dragonite cards that I have the only 2 pop of. Then I have my 4 Blastoise cards. And then I have 2 Raichus on the end, my Shining Raichus. May need to make some adjustments. All right, another 7. I like this because it's a bit of a recap for everyone, right? So especially if you're just popping in. Oh, so many Dark Blastoise. I love it. I need to get that reverse one from Legendary Collection though. It's on my list of goals for sure. Ooh, definitely don't want to knock this box over. Another beautiful 8. Got the 6, 5 there. Yeah, we'll just do 6, 5 and under here. All right, next. We got the 3. Definitely a wide range of stuff we got here. Got the 6. Good old 7. Ugh, I hate that I just said that in a row, but these damn kids. Got the tree 8s right here. Hollow, reverse, and Japanese. This also is kind of nice when they're unsleeved like this. You can stack them up fairly easy. Oh, another big hit. Today's going to be a very long day in a good way. Right, I still have some gaming to do. Right, gonna hang out with the boys at /frag. Gonna get some gaming in. I don't know if we're gonna stream it, but if we do, come check us out. But not only am I gonna sort all these, which I'm doing now. Ugh, another absolute beauty. But I want to look up value on some of this, right? Because again, like I'm gonna hold on to this stuff. It's not going anywhere, so I'd like to know what I'm sitting on. So overall, for anyone that's still in chat, anyone still hanging out, first of all, I truly appreciate you. It's been a very long stream. We still have a little bit more to do, but let me know what your favorite card from the submission was and why. Whether it was the first submission we showed off, or the full Blastoise submission. Oh, here we go. Starting to see some of these pristines. Yeah, this is also sick. So I don't have it with me. It's in the other box, but yeah, both of these in pristine, and then again I have the SAR in a pristine, which you guys will see here in a minute as I sort everything. There's the 8 for that one, which again, still pretty good grade. Got a 9. and a 9. So again, pretty good variety here. Pretty high in like the mid-range, and then we got a good amount of 10s. So now this box is empty. I still need to use it because we're gonna have to sort everything out. So XY promo, gotcha. That's awesome. All right, so now, oh goodness. So now we're gonna add to this, right? And this is gonna throw things out a little, or throw things off a little bit, but it's all good. I'm reorganizing all this stuff anyway. So, think about how I want to do this. Nah, I'm just gonna take it. Yeah, let's just take everything out. So we're gonna continue this. We're just gonna keep sorting by. Ooh, I don't know if this is gonna fit on camera. I might need to move one of these over. But let's just keep going through here. We're just going to keep this train going. We're going to go by grade. So here's some of the other ones I have, right? That's the Chinese version. There's the other one. So I got a 7. So I did get a bit of an upgrade on that. So that's not bad. I'll take that. Yep, there we go. So pull this guy back out. Absolutely beautiful. All 3 Japanese pristines. All right, some would say it's stunning. There we go. Not bad. Let's keep rolling. Got the English one, which is sad that, I mean, I think this has more value, but the English one, even in a 10, still holds pretty well. We got the Korean one. Again, no luck with Korean Pokemon cards. Maybe I'll try again another time. There's another one there, the Japanese variant. These cards are going to get real close to the camera. Again, I'm going to move stuff around here in a second. Another Japanese variant, 8.5. I probably should have counted this, right? That would have made sense. Stupid me. That's right. I'll be able to have a better count once I put them away. Because obviously these boxes hold 50. All right, so we did get a 9 in this one previously. Yeah, these boxes hold 50 each. So there's the pristine on that one. Oh, I did. Oh, no, that's the Chinese version of that one. Okay, nice. So I have the Japanese and the Chinese graded now. Nice. Oh, I did grade. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, some of this stuff, I just forget that I've graded before. But it's okay. Like, I don't mind having multiple variants, especially if I get different grades. This one I'm still going to hold on to because this is one of the first cards I submitted. But you see there's a really gnarly crack right there. Now, the reason why I haven't resubmitted this is because if I do, it loses this label and I lose the subgrade. So I'd rather keep this even though it's cracked. But, oh, I'm messing this up already. Forgot I have a pile for 8.5s. Yeah, I'm going to hold on to that one again because it's a little bit of memory lane kind of thing, right? But again, if I have this reholdered, you're going to lose the subgrades and all that. I don't want to do that. So I'm staying with the crack. Some might even say I'm addicted to it. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. All right. Got a 9 in this one. Yeah, this stack of 10s, we're going to have to move this over a little bit. So I'm going to try something here again. Another camera adjustment. Just bear with me. I'm going to bring it up a little bit. Can I? Bring it out a little bit, maybe? I don't think it's going to work. Let's see. Swing this way. Yep, I know camera's all messed up. Hold on. Bear with me. I'll just make sure the mount didn't fall off the desk. That's the last thing I need to do. What was that face for? Wabbit. Does that work? I mean, again, it's going to keep stacking up more and more. Yeah, I can't even angle it over the other way. It's all right. Let's just keep going. Another 10. Pretty much got 10s in all these, the Pokemon Go ones. This one's pretty cool. I actually picked this one up. Oh, the crack joke. Gotcha. This one's pretty cool. Another unique one. Little playing card. Again, you see it's a little bit smaller. This one, another absolutely beautiful card in a 9. 25th anniversary. Real quick, I'm just going to show you guys the other ones that I have in my my stands, which I'm not going to take out because they're staying out. But again, we got the 9. Absolutely beautiful. From old CD promo. We got my Grail. We have it in the green label. and the blue, or no, the updated label. This one is a green label because it says it's been inked, right? So maybe some of the corners, maybe there's some extra, but it's still an authentic card, obviously, right? CGC qualified. 2 awesome no rarities. And then base set. So we get a 9 in base set, which I would love to get a 10 for Japanese base set. And then here, this is the 25th anniversary in pristine. So those are the ones that sit on my desk in these really cool kickstands. Shout out to, let me make sure I get the name right so I don't want to mess this up. This is what, I think it's Collect 3D. Yeah, Collect 3D. Go check them out. Check them out on Instagram. Let them know I sent you. They're absolutely amazing, but they have all kinds of different stands for all your graded cards and even top loaders. I want to say top loaders. If not, they even have the Touch 1 cases. So, all right, another 10. This is the Japanese starter set. We got both the V and V Max and 10. Yeah, let me just do this, right? Because I don't want the camera to just keep like zooming in more and more. Let's just do it this way, right? Like, I think, let me do like maybe to there. I think that's an acceptable height. Bring these over. And again, I understand the camera's not in perfect oh man, I got a whole bunch of room. I need to shift all this over. My bad, guys. You should have said something. Old Wabbit's sitting here. All this stuff's kind of slightly off screen. There we go. Hopefully that's a little bit better. This is absolutely insane. Talk about a collection, and it's just nuts to think of the journey. And like, obviously there's a lot of memories tied to these cards and where I got them and when I got them. So just, I'm excited. It's something that I'm very glad. I feel like I'm blessed to be able to do this. And it's been a long journey getting to this point here. And again, this didn't happen overnight. It's something I worked hard towards. Oh man, I'm really dumb. Hold on. I'm messing this up. Oh, no, I did this correct. Yeah, because these are all, yeah. I just made a second stack. It's funny. I was doing a separate pile for all my 9s. Oh, it's because I didn't have any 9.5s to this point. So we're going to put the 9.5s with the 9s. I know I separated the 8s. It's all right. We'll be okay. Absolutely beautiful card. I think I bought this one this way, actually. There's the other Blastoise. You guys saw the hyper rare Japanese version of this. All right. 25 more. And just some absolutely beautiful cards. Yep, so we did get an 8 in this one. Got the 8.5 in this one, which that's another big hit. I remember that guy. Absolutely beautiful XY. All right. Older EX from 2014. Japanese EX facing the other way, 2013. We saw this one earlier, but we saw the Japanese variant. So this is the English one. This is cool. This is a copyright error. So the date down here at the bottom says 2012, which is incorrect. So again, it doesn't show the error there, but this is another error card. All right. Another Blastoise, 2012. This is from Boundaries Crossed. This one's such a beautiful card. I love this one. Galactic's Conquest, Japanese 7.5. All right. This one's pretty cool too. 5.5 Blastoise. This is a Cracked Ice Hollow from the Unleashed set. 5.5. You know, it's kind of crazy. Right, I'm looking at all this stuff. All the Blastoise that I have, I don't really have too many pristines, but the ones I do are pretty solid pristine, so I'm not going to complain. So we got an 8.5 in this one, so it's kind of funny. You guys saw we graded the other ones before, so we got a little bit of an upgrade. Well, we had, yeah, all trip 8s before. So here's the regular holo. You guys saw the stamped holo from before. Or I'm sorry, the reverse holo. Here's the other one. This one did a bit better. So many cards. This one's absolutely beautiful too. One of my favorites. Good old Blastoise EX. At the time, this was a Pop 12. Only God knows where it is now. Still a beautiful card. Yep, there's the other Sid's Blastoise. So we definitely got a good upgrade there. Original was a 3-5, and now we have a 6-5. Another cool Expedition Blastoise. Got an 8 on that one. Oof. One of my favorites. Good old web series. So it's funny because I bought this from a friend on Instagram who was kind of getting out of the hobby. And I bought majority of his Blastoise stuff. Said, hey, I'm going to keep it in good shape. I'm going to get great. I'm going to keep it with me. The sad part is not only is, you know, a buddy of mine selling off their collection, move on to bigger and better things. But I need to buy a second one of these now. And I say that because you guys saw I have the web series binder that I'm, you know, trying to complete. So I need to get another one of these. Which, and again, there's a first edition variant and a non-first. So whichever one I can find that's cheaper, I'll probably get for the binder. Another Blastoise here, Dark Blastoise. You guys saw how many of those that I have now. There's the holo version in 7.5. Is absolutely insane, by the way. I know most of the stuff's kind of not on camera anymore, but it's all right. You guys appreciate it. First edition. Very, very beautiful. Even at 6, this card still looks super clean. So that's why I used to put these stickers on the back. I don't know if I'll keep up with that, especially because, you know, over time that's going to change, right? Depending on people grading stuff and how popular it is. Look at all those Dark Blastoise at the top. 4.5. Base set unlimited. I think I bought this one. If I remember correctly, I think I bought that one. Yeah, because the old CGC label, yeah, I definitely bought that one. Got this one. Still, I think my highest grade for base set. I need to get a base set too, Blastoise, which if anyone has one, please hit me up. I would love to get it added to the collection. This one's another awesome one. So this is a 9, but with subgrades in the old CGC label. So awesome. Gotta love to see it. I miss the subgrades. I truly do. I know Beckett's the only one that does them now, but I wish we would go back and do it. Another 9 here. Regular, no subgrade. So I have a couple of these in 9s now. All right, last 2. Got a 7 in this one, which adds to the pile of all the other 7s and 7.5s I have. All right, last but definitely not least, Japanese base set. All right. That is all the Blastoise that I had graded. Let me just one last check. Yep, that is all of them. So, again, I'm going to put these back in their proper order, which now makes it even more complicated because all the grades are, I sorted by grades, but it's all right. So, that is going to do it for today's stream, guys. 158 minutes. Absolutely insane. Truly appreciate everyone that came through and enjoyed it. Again, if you haven't already, let me know in chat what your favorite graded Blastoise that you saw today was. And again, this is such an insane collection. Like, obviously, this is something that was done over time, right? And something I've been working towards for a while. But again, you got to start somewhere, right? I didn't just stumble upon all this stuff in one day. It's a bit of a journey, but there's a lot of memories behind this now, and I just can't wait to keep adding to this. So let me do quick shout outs. Thank everyone that came through for this very, very long stream. And then I'm going to take a quick break and eat lunch. And then I'm going to reorganize all this stuff, do some research, and add all this stuff to my tracker app. So, of course, Wabbit, appreciate you coming by. New Kid, thanks for coming by. Yeah, we'll chat later. Saya, thanks for coming by. Jay, thanks for coming by. Nugget, always great to see you. I think that was it. Oh, no, Hawaiian came through. Hawaiian 5-0. Nice to see you. Thanks for coming by. All right. And that is going to do it for today's stream, guys. Again, If you enjoy this kind of content, make sure you hit that like button and consider subscribing if you haven't already. But that's going to do it for me, guys. I'm WakoBako. Take it easy. Look at this. It's absolutely insane.